The winner bracket final, Eternal Conflict Season 1, we're in the playoffs, and we have the winner bracket final best of 5 series between Team RIP and Gavlo's Gremlins. So, let's go! Sergeant Hammer gets banned on Aldrich Pass, and if you're wondering why that is literally the first ban that gets thrown out there, it's fairly simple, because the Gremlins just played a series against Exodia Light, and they used Hammer, not on Aldrich Pass, but on Infernal Shrines. And they looked extremely good doing so, so apparently this is something that Team RIP doesn't want to deal with. By the way, if you watched the last series and you were a bit curious of what happened at the end and how it ended, because I certainly was just looking at the screen and was like, wait a second, they're not mathing right. So yeah, apparently what was happening is that you just didn't see one of the channels, so that's what happened. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I would highly recommend that you watch the match between the Gremlins and Exodia Light, which was the winner bracket semifinal. But yeah, if you know, you know. So Aldrich Pass is our first map. It's a best of 5 series. We have 1,500 euros on the line for the event here, and it should be a pretty entertaining match with some fantastic games already in the playoffs, also in the previous group since the new patch obviously hit. But we'll see what the teams are going to showcase here. Keep in mind that Team RIP has played a strategy with Probius that some teams valued so highly that they just, you know, banned out Probius against them time and time again. For example, when DDX played against Team RIP, DDX just banned Probius in every single game. Now, what happened later is that Team RIP actually got to play their strategy once and it didn't work whatsoever. The opponent shut it down right from the start, so I'm not sure if they're gonna go for it again. But during the series, we might see Probius picked once more. Time will tell. For now, we get Junkrat, we get Muradin, Maiev as a first pick for the blue team. Aldrich Pass, obviously a bit of a bigger map, so some globals could play a role here too. We've already seen bans against Krankle in particular. That ETC ban that you have on the side of the Gremlins is very likely going to be continued throughout the series, because teams have started to really respect Krankle's ETC plays and don't want to deal with that. Another hero that was heavily impactful for Team RIP in some of the previous matches is Medivh. So another one to watch out for a little bit. But we'll see what they ban. And also what, of course, gets taken. So Dino and Sylvanas, we are still... Cesapos is always the X factor. So if they play Asmodan, if they play Probius, or if they play Medivh, it's going to be Cesapos that locks it in for the blue team. Just keep that in mind as we're going through the draft. Those are picks that are very unlikely to happen early on. So probably going to be played later. But again, always take a bit of a grain of salt, because the last time they picked Probius, they got absolutely smashed. I mean, they got destroyed. So, final ban for map number 1 in the best of 5 series. Also, quick reminder that there is a loser's bracket. So if you lose here, you're not out of the tournament. You're just dropping down into the lower bracket and have to go for a bit of a longer extended run there. With Muradin and Junkrat already taken, Nano has one of his best heroes right from the get-go. A lot of teams that previously played against the Gremlins actually decided to ban out Chromie and Junkrat against Nano regularly, or even Hanzo when they could. We got Hogger and we get Brightwing. So yeah, Hogger for the top lane, getting the solo lane in. Brightwing for some global assistance throughout all of it. Should probably point out at this moment when we're heading into Aldrich Pass that structures have now 12.5% additional health hit points. That plays a bit of a role if you're trying to make a move for the core and it still has 2 armor shields. We've seen this now a few times, that teams were thinking, hey, maybe we can burst through that, but you have to really account for that extra hit point pool right now. If you don't do that, then you're going to get wiped at the core regenerates, and then you're just going to be toast. We get Chen. So triple front line with Maiev, Garrosh, and Chen. Alright. Eager to see a couple of those Keck plays once again. And that leaves us with Gavlo as our final pick. Usually we're going to get something along the lines of Tracer, Genji for him. But might see a completely different approach for now, for game number 1. Map number 1, Aldrich Pass. The Gremlins going up against Team RIP. Our final pick is Hanzo. Let's go. The blue team on the left on Aldrich Pass, our first map in the best of 5 series. Vasilisco's playing Rhaegar for the team. We got Dino on Sylvanas, Krankle with Garrosh, Cesapos on Chen, and Sven is playing Maiev. On the right side, Gavlo's Gremlins with Simply on Muradin. We got Nano on Hanzo, Gavlo on Junkrat, Serath on Hogger, and Banana Age on Brightwing. I don't even know why they're called the Gremlins. If they just wanted to go for the alliteration, or if they're all ugly as hell, or if it really has something to do with the Gremlins movie and they are all afraid, or not afraid, but like kind of allergic or reacting to water. I haven't watched those in ages. I don't even know how old they are. But yeah, either way. The Gremlins over here, they are ready. After the victory that they had in the previous series, they're of course hoping to make it all the way to the grand final directly. Winner bracket final should be a spicy one. We have some pretty fantastic teams, by the way, now in the losers bracket, just talking about it. That loser bracket is going to be fierce. This is going to be, I mean, brutal. Dino sitting all the way up at the top with Sylvanas. Hasn't really made a play there yet. 30 seconds in, the minions spawn, the mercenaries spawn now, so the teams are a bit faster trying to grab those. Sylvanas instantly in a bit of trouble. But Dino was able to jump out, so not really an issue or anything for him. Down at the bottom of the map, we have Chen now coming in with the freshest ingredients on level 1 right there. Cesapos, I mean again, War Master Chen is always nice, but the other color combination is just simply better. Ooh, Crankle. Crankle! 9 hit points! And then Hanzo comes in. Says like, nope, I got this. Nano, playing obviously one of his best heroes here. Doesn't really matter if he goes for Hanzo or if he goes for Junkrat. Would have had a big impact either way, but he's the one that is able to take down Garrosh, drop him, and enhance this push a little bit. So the Inspire mechanic still kicking in slightly as they're attacking the wall, and it helps them to get one of the towers pretty low. Rhaegar and Maiev, the two defenders here, but top lane also gets pressured. And we see essentially the same play here. So nice early game pressure coming in from the Gremlins as they're getting a bit aggressive. With that right now, we have the mid lane, even a rotation coming in from the top to enhance the push even further. For good old Junkrat, we get the Boom Pow. And we got Thunderburn for Murden. Mini healing static. That's going to kick in on level 13 for him. Getting some additional survivability. The Deadly Strike over here is our little Kung Fu Panda at the bot lane. Is going to go full on Fat Illidan as he jumps in feet first to try and take the opponent down. Talking about Illidan, I really would love to see some more Illidan games. Like, show me the blind man. Illidan to the rescue. A couple of teams need to try him out and see if they can maybe make it work. We've only seen him once so far in the new patch, and I would definitely love to see a few more games with him. Nice little attack at the bottom of the map too. Not only the red team that is able to get some aggression going onto structures, we now have on top of that also the first objective essentially activated. Yeah, big damage here in the middle. By the way, Sylvanas, very popular right now to go straight into possession on level 4 and then use it on the minion waves. Haven't seen that here. We get the unstable poison instead. As Dino can pressure the sides a little bit more. Oh, Murden, careful! Yeah, well, if you go for that skin, obviously you immediately trigger the hatred of a lot of people. I mean, it's not it's called the Epstein skin for a reason. So right now we'll have some candy. Right now we have in the middle still the little bridge of death. Muradin flipped again, gets the Stormbolt out though. They're turning it on Crankle and trying to take Garrosh down again. Not quite working here, but yeah, level 7 on both sides, and that gives us the Festering Wounds right there. Band-Aid is supposed to help, also I've heard. But they go for Dino again. Another Stormbolt. The wave comes out. Ooh, and Sven with the tether. Thrown forward, closes the distance, but now they're kind of having them in a bit of a bind. Brightwing, too eager. Thought that she could be a big real dragon. That's obviously not a thing. So that's the end of Brightwing. The Fruit Fly eliminated. And that leaves us with the... I was about to say, the objective targeted by the blue team, and then they just move away from it. Alright. Simply sitting there and saying, like, you know what, maybe we don't want to release those prisoners anyways. You don't know what these guys have done, you know? Maybe they deserved it. Maybe they're just sitting there and they absolutely deserved it. And then the blue team moves in and says, you know what, we don't even actually want to free you. So, yeah. Maybe they wrote some mean tweets on Twitter or something. I heard that if you are British, that is actually already an offense that can land you in the box for a couple of hours or days. So you don't know what's going on here. This might be a highly contestable offense, like who knows. Apparently the Gremlins, they don't have any such scruples. They're just going in, they're saying, you know what, we're going to release these bad boys and unleash them on society. So they don't care. So, yeah. Simply is trying to guard them as best as he can, and we have the blue team trying to essentially just zone them out and leave all the work over to the footman, who then stopped it, but it's still a solid advantage. I mean, they're just halfway done with it. Level 10 is slowly going to get ready here. And we have all the way up at the top, Muradin with another quick jump, Right Wing helping out too. Where did that Storm Bolt go? Seriously? I mean, he must have expected Crankle to just try and flank in from the bottom, but that didn't help. Muradin, the Storm Bolt King. The Dirty Trickster, by the way, for Gavlo. And we got Skullcracker now, with level 10 abilities ready. Mind Control. That's the heroics for the red team. Mind Control went nowhere here. A short cooldown still, comparatively, of course. But now we get Muradin with Avatar. Pretty much what you would think from the old Riptire, Arrow, and the Shockwave from Augur. Oh, what an Ancestral! The disc not hitting either. I honestly think that some of those guys were having a little bit too much fun between the series there. Maybe they were celebrating the last victory, or it's some kind of, hey, you miss a skill shot, you grab a drink. Not quite sure what's going on here, but that's a lot of these things missing. Maybe they just got unlucky here. That sometimes happens, of course, as well. Bad RNG right there. If RNGs is not on your side, then you're quickly ending up in trouble with skill shots either way. So push through the top lane, take a couple of these towers down, leverage Sylvanas as best as you can. Muradin jumps in, gets also thrown a little bit further. Big arrow towards the back, and it's always Garrosh. I mean, the disc is also out and shuts down Muradin. The timing with Mind Control not quite on point. But I have to say that if you have a good Garrosh player, he not only creates kill opportunities for you, but he also shuts them down on the other side. So once again, simply just thrown around. If I'm Muradin at this point, I'm going to be a little bit concerned. It must really go against your ego if you're going up against another tank and all that he does is just throws you around. So basically, yeah, Muradin, he's not being respected by the opponent. There's the keg. They're trying to go for Gavlo, but Junkrat's going to be totally fine. And the objective is about to be claimed. So they're going to get this one. Yep. Red team, if they can get out alive or maybe even get a kill, and they do, then they're going to have a nice start into this. So they come in and take Garrosh down for the second time. Crankle got crushed. And that is an objective, plus potentially, of course, all of that minion push power that we're going to get as well. This is honestly something that I like. I think the new Inspire mechanic when you attack structures and minions are around is pretty cool. I actually like it. It makes just a lot of these side lanes so much more impactful. That arrow! Damn, son! That was sexy as hell. And Basilisco, what a perfectly timed Ancestral. That was extremely neat. I like that teams have to now push or like spread out onto the lanes a little bit more when a push like this with the objective is coming in. Makes a whole lot of sense. And yeah, they are getting damage in, especially in the middle. Early level 13 talent for them now as well. So I suppose is already jumping in and doing a little bit more work over here. And Maiev, oh, that's bad. Maiev getting soloed at the bottom and then losing the fort, yeah, that one hurts. That one hurts a lot. In addition to that, the fort in the middle is also mega low and can be claimed later. So the blue team gets their own level 13 talents, but this is not looking too great so far. That was some very nice plays. And now they're trying to go for the boss at the bottom of the map. Right Wing is still sitting at the top. The blue team has obviously already sniffed this one out. So yeah, they just let this one slide. They can let it leash. They haven't really spent a lot of time there. And apparently it's being taken over. Wait, what? Okay, yeah, that's not happening. I was just like, that would be quite the play. Brightwing. It's actually kind of funny because heroes like Brightwing get now basically buffed. Brightwing is just like a fruit fly. This is absolutely unimportant. If Brightwing is pushing a lane against you, then you're just sitting there and it's like, who cares? Spit on the structures a little bit if it makes you happy, but that's not really doing any damage. But now that Brightwing can proc that Inspire buff on the minion wave, all of a sudden the Brightwing push can actually do a little bit of work. That 35% attack speed bonus and movement speed bonus really matters in a situation like this. So Brightwing top side is doing a lot of damage on those structures. Xerdas apparently is also having a little bit of a problem with his eyesight. Misses that shockwave completely. They want that boss though. Brightwing is coming in, but Junkrat isn't here. Garrosh gets killed again. At this point, Crankle is just griefing. Nano. And the boss is stolen. Are you kidding? You're even taking the kill and you lose the boss anyways? Alright. I mean, at least they're getting topside value with Gavlo pushing. But, well, Chen was just simply sitting there like, let's kick it up, boys. It's a little bit of a keg party. Not enough of them tried to go onto the point. So now the topside fort at least gets destroyed and is already gone. Junkrat is moving with the rest towards the middle. And down at the bottom of the map, it's Nano just taking the boss out. Now they got kills. It's nearly a level advantage for them now. 5 kills to 1. But yeah, a bit of a setback there. You invest all the time on the boss and then all of a sudden, you know, this happens. So, a bit of a feels bad moment. But is what it is. By now we have 36,000 damage for Hanzo. Junkrat is sitting at 24k. And Chen is the top damage dealer for Team Rip. It's a fierce panda right there. Winnie the Pooh would be immensely proud. Don't tell the CCP. But Chen is crushing it, apparently. So, 16 gives them a nice little lead and advantage. And they're currently going and... well, they might not get this objective after all. The blue team has actually decided they're going to try and interrupt and buy some time. Nice push in the middle also, by the way, from the mercenary camp that they took. So this might actually result in them getting another fort. Oh, good heal from Brightwing. Junkrat is dead, though. Junkrat is gone. And Chen is mega low. Might still die here, but Muradin is also low. Sessa boss gets killed. So essentially a kill for a kill here at the end of the day. That fight is not over, but the red team hasn't given up on it yet. They're trying to get back in. Sylvanas, nice damage. Muradin gets thrown in, jumps back out. Has a straight kicking in any second and could then still try to re-engage while Chen is gone. Bit of extra poke from Junkrat to just season the play. And the fort in the middle is still standing. So far, so good. So, 2 forts down. Experience lead is, of course, therefore growing for the Gremlins. And Muradin still easing into this. Went into the Dwarf launch on level 16. And as expected, healing static. Again, you want the synergy with your level 4 talent. So depending on the level 4 choice, you already know what's going to happen there. Oh, Disc is out, and apparently the blue team is thinking they're a little bit more eager right now. Go for an objective themselves. Sven, thrown around. Muradin, again, mind control. Brightwing to the rescue, and they go for Garrosh, and Garrosh is barely safe. Chen is dropping a bit low too. They're all a bit low here. Muradin is looking so far pretty alright. They have to start the channel here if they want to get this, and Chen is gone. So they're going to win the next objective. This is objective number 2 that also goes to the Gremlins. So the red team with a very solid start into the best of 5 series. They haven't won this map yet, of course, but right now they're doing great. They have a 1 level advantage. They're 5 kills ahead. They take the second objective. The fort in the middle already gets destroyed. Don't even have to make a big play for it or anything. And what we're seeing instead is an insta push through the middle with a camp that was taken there previously. So... here we go. The raiders are also coming. Mind control. Ooh, that one was scratching Nano slightly. So once again, Muradin thrown, jumps, tethered. He gets ping-ponged around, but look at the damage there. Hogger and Junkrat in tandem working on the Maiev kill, and now it's a 5 versus 4. Bad news for Team Rip. They're likely to lose one of their keeps and one of the armor shields on the core. Again, it's Chen that is trying to facilitate the next kill for the team. But Brightwing is helping out. Arrow from Hanzo. Riptire to the face. Sylvanas is gone too. And this is nasty. I mean, damn. All of a sudden, they're really running the show here in a brutal fashion. That's multiple keeps that will be destroyed here, and this might actually cost the blue team the game. Topside keep is about to go down. In the middle, they could make the similar move. Down at the bottom of the map, the raiders have broken through the wall too and are starting to damage the structures. But yet, 2 keeps at a minimum are gonna fall here. Sylvanas is gone for another 20 seconds, and this is just nasty. 20 kicks in as well. The Gremlins looking strong, and they're trying to go for the boss at the top. So, Muradin with Rewind. We now got the Bullseye and Cannonball. Am I the only one that sees Cannonball and just thinks about a fat guy jumping into a pool? I can't be the only one. So, I think that's the wrong icon. This needs to be a bit of a different icon. That should definitely be a swimming pool with a fat guy with a butt crack that just goes full on into a pool and just cannonballs the entire thing and empties it up. So, just saying, we should be a little bit more accurate over here. 9 kills to 2. They want Chen. I don't think that keg is doing anything, so that's a cooldown burn. Had to use it. Gets hit by the arrow. Bullseye connects as well. Garrosh attack. Uh-oh, they're in trouble. That core is already taking some damage, and now Maiev is gone. She definitely doesn't have a good day here. Maiev down for the 3rd time. The blue team is on the run. In the middle, the Stormbolt connects with Sylvanas, and she's dead. The core is getting attacked now, and while they are just taking hero after hero out, at least as 1 counter kill, Team Rip drops Junkrat, but the core is slowly falling, and they can of course right-click that easily. Blue team literally pushed into a corner right now, and that is just bad news for them. In comes the next little flip. Core now down to 12,000 HP. Boss is still up. Rhaegar is gone. They go for Chen. And that is game. Nicely done. Congratulations. Gravlo's Gremlins with a solid victory. 13 kills to 3 in game number 1 of the winner bracket final. So they take the lead on Aldrich Pass as we are heading straight for the 2nd map of the series. GG. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. Game number 2, the lead goes to the Gremlins. Solid performance on the first map. They did well, so great job. Now we're gonna find out if they can do it once again on Sky, and obviously the question is, how is Team Rip going to adjust to this? It was kind of funny after we've seen so many bans against Chromie, Hanzo, and Junkrat to all of a sudden see none of those bans being like respected, and Team Rip just came in and said like, you can have it all, and then Gavlo's Gremlins just ripping them apart here. Sergeant Hammer gets banned again though, and I understand that too. I mean, it's always kind of funny because you see so many people that look at the draft and they're like, oh my god, how could they get this one hero? Why didn't they ban it? And the answer is quite easy. There's so many heroes you want to ban against an opponent. You can't ban them all. We have 3 bans available at the end of the day. And especially in the first rotation, you only get 2. So you gotta let something through. Especially if you have multiple players on the other side that have key heroes that they're known for. At some point, you just gotta pick your poison. So again, heroes get banned out against Crankle, so they're trying to force him into a certain direction here, especially by banning ATC. Maiev now banned as well. And of course, for the Gremlins, that also means that they still have Chromie, Junkrat and Hanzo available and will definitely lock some of them in. But the start goes to Blaze, and Blaze is obviously one of the most picked side laners, if not the... He is the most picked side laner, the most successful one. He's just the strongest side laner you have there. Has been for a long time, so that hasn't changed. We get Sylvanas again for Dino, but this time they're playing this with Lucio as we're heading into Sky Temple. Bit of a different map, obviously. So we'll see what they can pull off here. Maybe also more of an approach with some globals. The Haka, Forsted, both still up. You could technically, of course, still try and use Brightwing here as well. But the Gremlins had a lot of really good CC that they locked in. Now, Junkrat, Hanzo, what's it going to be? Jojo and Brightwing. Alright, not taking either one of them at the start. So instead we have Jojo Blaze. Always a really nice front line. Has been for years, obviously. And, well, that brings us straight up to our final 2 bans before we're heading into game number 2. Also, Sven has been playing this pretty vanilla today. There were multiple situations where I thought he might go into a Viking pick, might go into a Samuro pick, and we haven't seen any of that yet. Sky Temple is not necessarily the map where I would expect him to go for it, but it would be cool. We had one game so far where it actually seemed like a team was thinking about going Abathur. And Abathur made sense with the draft that they were building, and then Abathur got banned. Unbelievable. No fun zone right there. So, yeah. Meridian gets now banned as well. I mean, they're really trying to push Krankle into a certain corner. And it's kind of funny that they're not respecting Garrosh, for example. They're just like, dude, if you want to play Garrosh again, hey, be our guest, go for it. Like, no problem whatsoever. But we're going to ban those hard stuns out. If you just want to flip heroes around a little bit, then you're more than welcome. Be our guest. So yeah, they're not worried. Mal'Ganis instead and Yrel. It's kind of funny to see now Krankle go into Mal'Ganis. Doesn't want to play Garrosh again here on Sky. And I was like, alright, I'll see what you're doing. But this is a nice little interplay that they have. Okay, so that brings us right away to the final two picks that we're getting for the Gremlins. They obviously still need some damage. This is the two that played Hanzo and Junkrat on the last map. Now that we're heading into Sky Temple. Might even see a false step pick here if you want to go for the global. But instead, it's Hanzo again for Nano. And seems like Gavlo is going to play Tracer. So, more Overwatch. They're sticking with the theme. More Overwatch, more better, nah? Last but not least, Cesar Boss. What are we going to get from him? 3 Overwatch heroes now already in total in the draft. And, well, are we going to get a bit of an X-Factor pick over here? From the man with a plan? Yes! There's Probius! Told you in game 1, the Probius strategy. They're trying it. Cesar Boss on Probius as we are heading into Sky Temple. Ladies and gentlemen, map number 2. Rip against Gavlo's Gremlins. We are in game number 2, and on the left we see the infamous Probius play now from Cesarbos. Dino's playing Sylvanas. We got Sven on Yrel, Krankle on Mal'Ganis, and Basilisco on Lucio. Over on the right side of the map, Tracer played by Gavlo. We got the Gremlins with Nano on Hanzo, Simply on Johanna, Sadath on Blaze, and Banana H on Brightwing. Also, it's time to mix things up a little bit. We had one a couple of weeks ago, and now we're going for another roast cast, everybody. Simple rule, the hero that died last is the worst hero in the game and needs to be treated accordingly until somebody else gets killed. Then obviously he's the best ever in the game. So, a bit of a goal there on the Twitch channel, on the live stream, and it is roast cast time. So let's see who's getting the treatment first. At this point, we have in the mid lane Cesarbos, and again, if you're a little bit surprised by that Probius pick, then you definitely haven't listened to the drafts in the last couple of games, because Probius was banned a lot against Team Rip, and they have a Probius draft that apparently did quite well in scrims, but the one time that they picked him so far, it kind of fell short. So maybe an opportunity to make something happen over here. Mal'Ganis gets attacked again. Krankle obviously pushed a little bit out of his comfort zone with the continuous bans against the front line that we've now seen. On level 1 we see again gather minerals, same style that Probius used the last time. Team Rip setting up at the bottom of the map and pushing the top lane too. With Yrel, the Space Goat is already in play there. This is something I don't really like too much. At least get one auto attack in to trigger Inspire once. I guess it's not too much damage in that small time frame, but I feel if you do that reliably over a longer period of time, you find yourself in a pretty decent spot. So, as is, we have on level 1 also Hyper Shift now for Brightwing. In addition, we get Parting Gift, and it's all about the camps, especially over here on the left. Team Rip coming in with Dino with Sven to grab this one. They're a little bit late to the party because we already have structures being eliminated here, and that camp is in play. So, yep, that is going to definitely reduce the HP, meaning that the first objective is going to do more work. Down at the bottom of the map, Probius is getting attacked here. The bomb is connected, and the fountain cooldown has to be popped. So, Tracer applying pressure against Probius, who went for the photon barrier now. Outside of that, still a little bit calm. Top side was more centered around the pressure with mercenary camps. I don't know, a bit of a fight over the camp here. Nano gets attacked first. Hanzo needs to be careful. Was a little bit low here in HP, but still surviving. Blue team is trying to set this one up a bit more aggressively, like on the last map. They take a tower down, get some action going here, as Probius and Urel are still pushing in the middle and down at the bottom of the map. In comes Jojo. They go for Dino. Sylvana's low. Crankle also falling. And they gotta retreat quickly. So decent defense, but lost a few structures in the process. Now we have the next temple activating. And Probius is very much alone on the bot lane for a couple of seconds. Urel is stopping Tracer cold as Gavlo rotates over and tries to take the minions out quickly. But that's more structural damage done. All the way up at the top though, it's the blue team that is falling back a little bit. Obviously, number imbalances on the lanes right now. But the temples are ready, and it is the red team that is leading with shots from both, at least initially. So you gotta be careful here. Jojo in the middle, not having any problems to get additional shots. So as long as she's getting at least some, that's totally fine. Topside attack is also coming in, as Team Rip is doing some work here, trying to get some shots fired themselves. And Probius is taking full control over the middle, forcing Joanna back. Tracer, yeah, comes in. The only thing that can defeat an OP Protoss character... Oh, Mal'Ganis is down. Doesn't really surprise me at all. I mean, Mal'Ganis is definitely one of the shittiest additions that we have seen in a long time. So that he's the first one to fall here does not shock me whatsoever. I mean, seriously, the guy is just ghosting around putting people to sleep. That's how boring he is. Of course he's going to fall first. Crankle has been pushed into the position in the first place. They banned out all of the good tanks, so now he has to play a shitty one, and that's just what happens if you are running around at the front line and you can't actually do anything here. That little bit of Fellclaw business that he occasionally throws out just doesn't work. The mount that he rides is also just absolutely horrifying, so Mal'Ganis just absolutely sucks as a character, and everybody knows it. I mean, nobody wants to play him. It's one of the reasons why Crankle probably lets himself die here, so that he has less playtime in the game, which makes perfect sense to me. Bit of aggression against Dino now all of a sudden, though, as Gavlo is getting pushed back. With a proper tank, they might have been able to get that kill, you know, get some stuns in or something along those lines. But that is all that he can do, ghost around a bit, like ooh. But then they take Tracer down, and I mean, Mal'Ganis is obviously the best hero in the game, with Tracer just another shitty Overwatch hero that nobody really likes. But Brutefly, Brightwing, that's the real insult to the game. Brightwing is just absolutely horrific. Whereas Mal'Ganis, oh, he is a little bit low and gets killed right away. I mean, as I said before, absolute shittiest tank in the game. Doesn't even stand a prayer there. Bot lane gets pushed out in the meantime. Mal'Ganis gone again, and now Sylvanas falls. I mean, I never liked her in the first place. Sylvanas, she absolutely just sucks. Anduin, you know, that's a real hero, that's a real waller, that's somebody that you can that can lead from the front. But Sylvana, she was always a little bit suspicious, ghosting around there the entire time, jumping around on that stupid wave like she's on speed or something, was always a little bit iffy. And if you are running in and the only skill that you basically bring to the table is that you disable structures, that's already just super weird. So riding on a bottle too, I mean, if that doesn't make you a bit odd, then I don't know what does. So Sylvana's now coming into battle as well and starting to do her thing here. 2 kills to 3. We have level 10 abilities now kicking in too. For Sylvanas, that means that she goes for Wailing Arrow. I mean, I hear her wail in my ear the entire time. She didn't need an arrow for that in the first place. And the only thing that it does is just silence people. What silence people is your face. I mean, honestly, with that visage, what do you expect? At least at some point, please, like, go to... get a haircut or something. Top lane pressured out by Blaze as he's pushing in, but with the altar or the shrine up at the bottom of the map. That's now currently where they're trying for the next couple of shots fired. Sylvanas gets attacked, but they're trying to turn it around here. If Sylvanas was a real damage dealer, she would do some damage, but she's amazing and helps actually with the kill against Hanzo, who was always the worst of the Overwatch characters. They all suck, don't get me wrong, but Hanzo with that beard, I mean, please, give me a break. That's the guy that runs into the Starbucks and comes in with his entire, like, non-cafe soy latte with a little bit of here and there and 2 pumps of this and that. So if you ever want to see an absolute outrageous Starbucks order, then just go to Hanzo. He's going to be the one. So Hanzo definitely deserved that death. But we have another fight breaking over at the left. Hanzo trying to hit the arrow, but ooh, and got lucky here for once. We all know that guy can't aim for shit, but you know, with a bit of luck, all of a sudden, yeah, even a blind one every now and then, you know. So the last few shots fired through the bot lane for now. We got Krankle still getting the shots in for his team. It's actually a pretty close game with 3 kills to 3 and 12 to 12. This could, of course, easily be changed if Nano had just decided in favor of a real hero that can actually have an impact in the game. Junket, for example, would have been absolutely fantastic here. But since he picked Hanzo, it's just that fake damage that he gets out by YOLOing a couple of arrows in, that damage that gets healed up immediately. So he's essentially... I mean, again, think about any kind of movie that you have, and the guy with the bow is always the worst. So he's the Hawkeye of the Storm, and it's an absolute insult to the game. The boss attempt by Team Rip at the bottom of the map is a bit ballsy on the other hand. I mean, they're really taking a risk here. Hanzo is coming in and missing all of the shots right away, but the boss is about to be claimed, and the red team has a level 13 advantage. Could go for it right now. Jojo is already there. Here comes the arrow. They're trying to go for Mal'Ganis and try to get the hit in. It's also Urel that's dropping a bit low, but Mal'Ganis is the first one to fall. Just absolute horrendous front line, as I already said previously. And Jojo took him out with a bit of light. You know, that's how you know that your front line is really shit, if light kills you. She comes in and glares at him with a shield, and then Mal'Ganis is like, woo, and dies a second later. That's not embarrassing that I don't know what is. So, Jojo, that's a real tank. Mal'Ganis, on the other hand, yeah, definitely not. I mean, the hero is just like dying over and over again. Look at her here, the prowess of Johanna, just going to battle as a legionnaire, you know, going 1v3, forcing them back, pushing them back, and opening up kill opportunities for the team. Whereas Mal'Ganis is just now slowly joining the fight. But Lucio, talking about Lucio, I mean, he's really worst. Obviously, another Overwatch character, which we already don't like from the get-go, but he's just rushing around. Oh, Sylvanas, I mean, she's dying now, and Sylv, let me tell you one thing, she absolutely is horrendous. No impact in the game whatsoever. Nearly as bad as Probius, who is just an OP probe, and every time that you see these guys, you know that they don't have any skill. They're running around, they drop a couple of turrets on you, try and cannon rush you all day long, and it's always a disaster. So Probius deserves nothing but a swift death. Only a dead Protoss is a good Protoss, as we all know. In the meantime now, we have more shots taken. I mean, the teams are splitting the temples. We have 22,000 damage from Sylvanas, and as you can see, Probius is just not bringing anything in here. 17,000. Of course, some people are now going to look at the siege damage and immediately claim like, but he does siege damage. This is a typical specialist right there that sits on the side and is like, but I'm doing things. Because he tries to use his PhD in PvE, taking some minions down, since heroes are just a little bit too difficult. So that's exactly what we're getting there. 16 is now in. That gives us a lead again for the red team. They already have the lead in the series, but they are taking the last fort down of the opponent down at the bottom of the map. Now, once they do so, they're going to be even in structures again. The blue team is trying to catch up and get the last bit of XP in. Probius is already running away from the team fight and is now focusing on a mercenary camp. I mean, not a shock there. What else would we expect from him? So, always just like trying to play, you know, the map. Arrow comes in, big hit from Hanzo, fantastic arrow. They get the kill on Probius again, and Lucio dies too. That's what happens if all that he can do is run around. Brightwing eliminated, the fruit fly, just despicable, and then Hanzo dies a moment later. A real hero would have gone in and, you know, just broken them apart one after another, dishing out some real damage, but none of that happened. If they had Tracer in that fight, for example, she would have just cleaned house. Instead, they had Hanzo, and he's just not even worth bringing to the battle. If anything, he irritates your own side more than he does the opponent. At the end of the day, you're looking at him, you're trying to protect him because he's so weak and pathetic that you're just sitting there thinking you have to coddle him a bit, and all of a sudden you become the target. So bringing Hanzo to a fight is just absolutely useless. Sylvanas, that's a fantastic character. You know, Sylvanas is strong. Probius, amazing. Incredible damage on the map. Tracer, she's just so damn good with the mobility that she brings in. But Hanzo, the ick factor is the last thing. I mean, he's even riding on... even just using Protoss even more. So, I gotta say, Hanzo, that's just a big nope from my end. Nope. Now that they're coming in, they're gonna try and target him first, and then he jumps a little bit over that thing here. A couple of acrobatics to try and make himself look good, and outside of that, just on the run in the back line, using the French defense and getting away from the team fight and the core of the battle as quickly as he can. You could really try and hold it not against him because he only has a bow here, but still, at the same time, he's just petting stats damage the entire time. So yeah, sitting on the side, look at him! Just sitting down at the bottom as the real battle is fought out there. Fruit Fly goes down, Brightwing useless as usual, Blaze dies, and Johanna goes down too. I mean, Jojo, honestly, if you want to have a real tank, then you go for Mal'Ganis. Tracer is gone, worst damage dealer in the game. Hanzo, you know, he comes in and lands at least a stun every now and then. Now he's going up 1v5 because he knows that he's the only one that can stem the tides of all of those barbarians trying to push onto the keep. The blue team already intimidated. Hanzo just absolutely fantastic, but when you're looking at Tracer, it's just despicable. She doesn't do any real damage, just zips around, tries to annoy people, and they swat her away like a fly. The keep gets attacked though, and with the blue team now starting to take the lead, they're actually trying to make a play for the core here. Hanzo is the only one that can stop them, and he already threatens them and pushes them back. That man is the modern Robin Hood. The Robin Hood of the Nexus. You know, he comes in, hits that bullseye target. Not like Tracer, who needs these two miniguns that she's running around with to hit anything in the first place. Accuracy for shit, if you ask me. It's honestly a little bit embarrassing, but Hanzo, you know, he nails these shots. And does it with a bow and arrow to begin with. I mean, let us take a look at the numbers here. Look at Hanzo, 39,000 damage. The man is a legend, an absolute legend. There's people with guns in this game, and he still out-damages them. Blaze, by the way, getting stunned out here. It's a little bit funny. Tracer, of course, just buzzing around, bzz, 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 and does absolutely nothing. Hops around a little bit. They take the boss at least. Obviously, the Temple's giving up for now. They're trying to go back into battle, and they go for the weak link first. They go for Tracer again, and she's just sleeping on the job. You couldn't see it there a second ago. Tracer is just fully asleep. So by now we have the control taken over the top. The shots fired in the middle as another keep is about to fall. Nobody's even dealing with the boss down at the bottom of the map for now. And Tracer has decided that her dedicated plays are being made for mercenary camps right now. She already realized a long time ago that going into a real battle is not really for her. So instead she's going up against siege giants, runs around them, and dodges a couple of rocks every now and then. Mal'Ganis coming in, Tracer again asleep on the job here as usual. But we have the boss at the bottom of the map, and here comes the kill. They go for Brightwing, that's the first one, and now Hanzo is dead. Obviously Hawkeye is gone once again. Tracer still alive. I mean, she's obviously bringing the real numbers, but now Johanna is down, and Blondie just doesn't cut it. That's the sad truth that we have here. The only thing that she can do is run around with the shield and drop it every now and then, but Blondie is just nowhere near where she needs to be in order to help the team out. Gavlo getting attacked here too. Mal'Ganis, on the other hand, that's a proper tank that you can really respect on the battlefield. I mean, he's coming in with those fell claws and is ripping the opponent apart. Blue team now with 12 kills to 9, and we have both of the teams on level 20. That gives us, amongst other things, already blind as a bat. So, I mean, think about that. Even when he can't see anything, Mal'Ganis still rides on his dark horse into every team fight and is dishing out the pain. Whereas all that Jojo can do is run around, throw some light around, and every now and then we're going full Captain America with our shield and are trying to bounce around. That was already horrible when it happened in Marvel, and now it's happening in Nexus too. Probius coming down from the bottom of the map now as well. We have 12 kills to 9 in total. And so far, I gotta say, I mean, we have Sylvanas with 53,000 damage, rocking the numbers here. When it comes to the front line, Jojo is, not that it makes a difference. I mean, Jojo is back, but it's not gonna make a difference at all. So, rides on a snowflake as well. We knew you didn't have to make it that obvious. So, they're trying to go back into the battle right now. 16 on the clock. We got a double temple activating. And she's just moving forward with that shield. Also, who carries a flail into battle? I mean, seriously, you're going up against some high-tech stuff on the other side, and you're carrying a flail. Can't you afford a sword, or what's happening here? I mean, at a minimum, buy yourself a spear, but that flail is absolutely nothing. Too easily dodged. Now they're trying to go for another play here. Jojo could go in, tries to go full Captain America again. Tracer, though, gets just blown to pieces. And Lucio follows suit a second later. That's the problem if all you can do is run around on the map and play some music. Who asked for that? Who was ever in a battle and then said, you know what's missing? A little bit of music is missing. That's what's really missing here. Shots fired against the bottom keep now, and I think they're going to get this one as well. They get at least the shots through the middle, but it's starting to get a bit dicey for the red team because they're running out of structures here. And, well, everything is already set up. Nobody wants to engage into this, and I don't really blame them. Lucio isn't here, not that he's needed. That's the one reason why they can focus in the first place, because they're not just barraged by music the entire time. You can't even call that music. It's just noise that he's playing. It's not even like it's good or anything. Nano, on the other hand, nearly dies to the photon cannons over here, and they are holding on to this quite nicely. 13 kills now against 10, and the team is all out of structures. Only the core is still standing, and it seems more and more likely that we have a chance for Team Rip to equalize the score here. Now, it's not quite over yet. One team fight is all that's needed for the Gremlins to move through the middle and go for the core directly. Lucio is now zipping around. The guy has rollerblades. I mean, seriously. Rollerblades. That's what you wear when you're going into battle. Give me a break. All that you have to push him, all I have to do is push him and he rolls to the end of the screen and is just gone from the fight. So, rollerblading around here thinks for some reason that this is like, this is skate up area or something. But, yeah, tries to help out the rest. I mean, honestly, if that guy is zipping around on you all day long, you can't concentrate for shit. So you're just sitting there and you're thinking, dude, just please leave. Overwatch heroes are annoying to begin with, but he is definitely taking the cake there for sure. And thinks he's mega special, just sliding around the sides here a little bit. I've done that since when I was 12, dude. How old are you? Like, seriously, a little bit of self-respect goes a long way here. Malgan is getting attacked. Red team looking for an opportunity, obviously, now to win a team fight and maybe end the game. They know that they're going to have a tough time playing for objectives here. It's a single temple that is activating, though. Team fights will likely decide the outcome of the game now. Lanes are pushing. Malganis is gone. And once again, Malganis just got absolutely slapped. No chance for him. Jojo, she came in, provided a stun. Malganis provides nothing. So he's gone, and it's a 5 versus 4. But the red team is still getting chased a little bit because their opponents realize that they got to do something. Proby down at the bottom of the map, is the next one to fall. Nano coming in, gets the hit, and the Protoss is down once again. That's the problem in one of those fights. If all that you can really contribute is a couple of cannons that are stationary, I mean, what else do you expect? Of course you become the target quickly and you just get slapped around. The red team might actually lose Jojo. That's a problem. Johanna Johanna's a problem in the first place, but her dying here is an issue. Because now the shots are being fired from the top. We have the temple in the middle taken. The core hasn't lost its shield yet. Gavlo gets the heal, and Hanzo gets the kill. Hanzo is down again. If he just would buy himself a gun, he might have survived there and maybe even killed something in the process. But this arrow BS is obviously not working whatsoever. Dino jumping left out. It's chaos. It's utter chaos on the map right now. It's ridiculous. I mean, they're chasing them. It's a 3 versus 4, but they're all over the place. Teams are not even going for the temples anymore. It's bonkers. We're 20 minutes in right now, and it is ridiculous what we're getting here. The damage numbers that we have, 77.7 thousand for Sylvanas. Definitely conspiracy-worthy numbers. And then Hanzo on the other side, of course, not even being able to get the top damage in the game, which is just embarrassing. They go for Sylvanas, and she dies. Yeah, Sylvanas eliminated as so often. Once again, she loses. God, sometimes I really just wish I had Anduin in here. He could replace her so quickly, and he's just a leader that I can look up to, whereas Sylvanas is just not really cutting it. Shots fired in middle core down to 74%, but the blue team is attempting to take over at the top. More shots fired. Big arrow completely dodged out. Sylvanas gone. The core down to 56%. Another keep has fallen, and we got the Gremlins pushing onto the objective. Hanzo arriving. Everybody's already a little bit low here, but they have to get those kills. They need to get them quickly. Probius goes down. The cannon's doing more damage than the probe itself. Brightwing eliminated. It's an absolute slugfest here. Hit versus hit. Blow for blow. Lucio is dead. Hanzo is gone. And that's 3 against 2 heroes right now as they're trying to make a move for Krankle. It is again Trace that is zipping around here. Hanzo obviously with 0 impact, but Gavlo, that's a real champion right there. What the hell are you doing? No! Let's Krankle go, and there's the last few shots fired to eliminate potentially the keep at the bottom. There's a boss up as well, and it's an absolutely ridiculous game. How did Urel not die so far? Urel hasn't died once yet. Down at the bottom of the map now, we got Siege Giant slowly claimed. But yeah, it is a wild game. Absolutely wild. I mean, boah. Catapults are being taken out. Tracer is now getting a few more. She is at least useful. She takes mercenary camps. What has Hanzo done in this game so far? Thrown a couple of arrows in around that went nowhere. They kept narrowly missing the target and went straight up to Florida. So there's absolutely nothing that gets contributed. Rides in on his little caterpillar again. And yeah, it's just not working. Everybody is sitting down at the boss again. Hanzo has been so far saving the good arrows for next game, of course. And in the meantime, we're having camp after camp claim. They're trying to get themselves a little bit of an edge here, as the blue team is already setting up around the boss even further. We have a couple of those hits already in. The cannons are right there. Also getting some vision, of course. Quick double check. And what? They're actually engaging onto this because they know that with the double temple coming up, they're not going to be able to cover both of them. So they go for the Hail Mary play right there. Hanzo is trying to be useful for once, but it's tough, of course. He's not used to that. They go for the boss. Who's going to take it? This is where the game is likely going to end. Right there. Boss is about to be taken. Blaze is down. The blue team claims the boss. Blaze is gone. Subdue completed. If they just had a better side lane in that position. Blaze dying. Tracer falls next. And she just doesn't contribute. She just doesn't. Look at the damage output here. Hanzo, that's a real hero. 75,000 damage. You know, that is boss numbers right there. Tracer, 74,000. You know, that's amateur level what we're seeing. But it's likely going to be the end of it. They already have control over the temples. It's a full checkmate at this point. And this is game. As we have 19 kills to 15. Team Rip takes the victory on Sky Temple. And it is a tie in the series as we head to game number 3. GG. Coming up next, we have game number 3 for you guys. Before we go, a big shout out to everybody that is supporting the channel on patreon.com/Khaldor. Really appreciate the support, guys. Thank you very, very much. If you want to support the channel, if you want to support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene live with all of the events and tournaments that we're hosting, then please consider to check out patreon.com/Khaldor and support the channel there. It's the best way to support all of the things that we're currently doing for the scene and plan to do in the future. With that being said, enjoy the next game of the series. Game number 3. Series is tied and we are heading to Dragonshire. So normal cast from here on out. So again, specifically on the last map, every now and then a roast cast. So heroes that die are the worst and everything, everybody else is amazing. That's the rule of thumb. I didn't really expect to see this many kills on Sky Temple. That made it a little bit difficult. So I know that some people have probably found it annoying. I hope that a lot of you found it at least a bit of fun. Every now and then we're going to throw that one in. But yeah, those were a lot of kills. There was a lot of swaps right in the middle of the cast. Where at some point I was just like, wait, who died last? So by now we have Chromie Band out and also Tyrael as we're going for Dragonshire. And apparently they're respecting the Lucio performance so much from Vasilisco on the last one that they also ban Lucio this time instead of going straight up for that ETC ban that we've now seen. Maiev still gets the ban hammer though. But nice performance by Team Rip. I gotta admit that after map number 1 I was a bit worried because the Gremlins had such a solid performance there and such a just clean game that there was obviously a chance that the red team just walks away with the glorious victory and runs over their opponents. But we are in the winner bracket final after all, so you would expect that this one is a bit closer. We are guaranteed to have at least 4 maps right now. Hogger, he is the one to get picked first for Dragonshire. Now, some globals could still pop out here too. Or at minimum Genji or some other heroes that are very mobile and can rotate between the lanes and apply top lane pressure. Junkrat and Rhaegar. And for the team on the right, what is Nano going to pick? Are we going to get a... It would be a third Hanzo in a row if he picks it right now, right? Yeah, so there is a chance. It's definitely a chance that we're going to get another Hanzo play from him. With Chromie banned and Junkrat taken, that would be a good option for them too. And frontline. There's Hanzo. There's Meriden. even in the days of old with JPL and others, Muradin always a good choice on Dragonshire. Muradin is just one of those tanks where you can't really go wrong no matter where you pick him. There's a couple of maps where he's maybe not quite as great or where he has less of an impact, or others just outshine him a little bit. But generally speaking, he's just incredibly solid. A map where you don't see him a lot would be Infernal Shrines, because you still see him there, but not as much, because on the Shrine, of course, that Stormbolt doesn't really connect all that well with all the minions floating around. Blaze gets banned. So, one of the few games where Blaze has actually not been played super quickly. So it seems that Team Rip is expecting a triple frontline from the Gremlins and don't want to deal with that. With Hogger already taken, they would still have expected this to be claimed. It's kind of interesting because it also means that right from the start here, Team Rip never really thought about going for Blaze themselves. And now ETC gets banned again against the blue team. So the pattern essentially still holds. The one thing that they just wanted to make sure is that Lucio is definitely not going to be played here. So yeah, Lucio shut down. But that leaves us still with options for Crankle, Cesarboss. The one thing that I actually find a little bit sad is that we haven't really seen any Asmodan in the last couple of matches. And Cesarboss played that obviously quite a bit. It would be cool to see that again, but now we get Sylvanas and we have Janna. Junkrat Sylvanas for the pressure. And now with Sven at the last pick, I mean, again, they could also go for some nasty side laning. I don't think that we're going to get in a lineup like this, Samuro, but I have higher hopes that eventually we're going to get it again. Gavlo and Banana H, that's what we still need. So we need our X Factor pick and we need the support for the red team. Here comes Dehaka, so they go for the triple front line. Dehaka over the potential Blaze pick, of course. And we get White Mane for Banana H. So, that leaves us with Sven. Last but not least, Dragonshire is the map. One team is going to take the lead here again. This is the best of 5 series. And, yeah. We can lock one more in order to make that happen here. Going up against the triple front line is obviously going to force that choice a bit too. You can't go for like a squishy melee at the side of Johanna if you have 3 against you at the front. And so they go for Rexa. The king of Dragonshire appears again, sitting at that top lane now as we are heading into our 3rd map of the best of 5 series. Gremlins against Team Rip. Game number 3, Team Rip on the left in blue with Vasilisco on Rhaegar. We got Sven on Rexa. Dino, he's playing Junkrat for the team as we have Cesarboss on Sylvanas this time. And then Crankle on Jojo. So got a lot of his tanks against the Knight to him coming in here with Janna. As we have Nano on Hanzo for the Gremlins. We get Sadath on Dehaka, Gavlo on Hogger, Simply on Muradin, and Banana H on White Mane. It's actually kind of interesting to see how much Dehaka we're now getting. I've been talking about this already a bit in the past, but obviously we have the massive increase on the brush stock, and now the cooldown is now at 240 seconds, aka 4 minutes, but you can reduce it by picking up some health globes. And the mimimi on social media was actually pretty big when the changes were announced, because people were essentially saying, "You ruined Dehaka, he's unplayable now." And now we see him, I don't want to say more than ever, but we still see a lot of Dehaka. So players that know what they're doing and they can play can still make him work, and he has a very big impact, of course. So top side, Dehaka currently doing his thing here as the first camp is getting attacked right away, and that's both of the teams making moves for the Bruiser camp. So we see that over on the left side too, as the blue team, with the help of Rhaegar, has locked that in quickly. Pity the Frail again from White Mane, of course. And we get the Flare for Rexa. Now, Crankle for just a second was maybe a bit in a weird spot. Tries and come in for White Mane. Banana. Alright, that's the right banana right there, apparently. Ho, ho, ho. Holy ragdoll, Batman. Okay, so that's first blood and a quick kick. He gets thrown across the entire map here. As we have topside Sadath now playing this out all alone against Misha and Rexa. I mean, at this point, the shrine is up. And Dehaka has already signaled that he's going to push that lane out. One of the advantages of having Rexa here with Misha is that you can hold not only the shrine, but also the experience on lane quite easily. You have to be, of course, a little bit careful. Misha again attacking, gets licked by the Haka. Absolutely unbearable. All that slobber just straight on your fur. Like, ugh. But yeah, bear with me here for just a second, because Misha obviously has a huge impact in a lot of these fights. But it doesn't really bear thinking about what happens if she dies, because Rexa normally is... Rexa is usually doing a pretty good job taking care of her, but sometimes he just sends her into harm's way, which is just an unbearable situation and shouldn't really be allowed, but it happens occasionally. So right now, Serdath just trying to hearth back and gets interrupted, but the problem is that he's now up against two, and one of them being Sylvana, so he's kind of forced to stay on lane as Junkrat gets murdered at the bottom of the map. So another kill coming in for Team Gavlo this time, as topside Serdath is just having some issues. Now right here, it is a big push, and they need to use the AoE in order to pressure this out, or the fort is going to take serious damage. But with Muradin assisting, the Haka is able to take that back. They're trying to do a similar move at the bottom of the map. The problem here being that the wall is still intact and hasn't been broken through yet. Gavlo getting attacked in the middle. Double control now and a potential Dragon Knight for the red team. But with two heroes sitting in the middle, it's highly unlikely that they're going to get this easily. Wall at least has been broken. Rhaegar's a little bit low. And Hanzo, they are going to kill him. They're going to take him down. It's going to take them maybe a hot second, but they should be able to get that kill. Took a couple of tower shots as well. In comes Hanzo, and he misses all of the shots. I mean, careful here. But eventually, Rhaegar still dies. It took him way longer than I expected him to, so kudos to Rhaegar for surviving this long. But that is the second kill for the red team. So, yeah, they made it work. Dragon Knight is not taken, but they are going to jump in. Try and take Dino out. And of course, hope to also drop some hit points on the fort. Simply has taken a lot of damage, but his trait is going to kick in quickly, and he actually has also third wind on level 1, so that helps a lot. But yeah, top side, that's where we have Misha sitting in the bush. So they had a couple of traps set up earlier. Okay. Yeah, Misha moving now with Rexa towards the middle. And they could get another stun against Muradin here. He got sucked in quickly. And then, of course, the engage just comes a moment too late. A lot of macro going on between the two teams right now. We still have the lead in experience for the Gremlins, and they're trying to retake also at the top. They at least take control away from the opponent, but now Sylvanas is helping out too. And this is going to result in both of the shrines claimed by Team Rip. So there's a chance for a Dragon Knight all of a sudden for the blue team in the middle of the map. And it will force one of them to stay tight here and take control. Muradin. Junkrat nearly getting away here, but they're taking control once again. And the Haka back to business as we have level 10 ready. And this might be the first moment where we get an actual Dragon Knight. So Khaldor pulled this time over the shockwave. Muradin with the channel and gets interrupted. Goes for number 2, and this time they're gonna grab it. So we got a Dragon Knight in the game. Muradin, usually the smallest of the bunch, is now finally sitting there as a big dragon with a huge battle axe, you know, can come into the fight and have a proper impact here. Top side, that's where they're fighting for the next little battle. Dragon Knight is actually completely ignored in the middle of the map currently. Nobody's dealing with him whatsoever. Which allows him to break through the wall with ease and now making a play quickly for those minions. And with everybody now all of a sudden drawn to the middle as they have level 10 trying to defend against the Dragon Knight, that means that we have at the bottom of the map a lot more freedom. The same up at the top where we have the Gremlins pushing once more. So Inspire gets activated by Hanzo's auto attacks to get a bit more damage on that fort. Top side, similar situation unfolding. They have even the camp support from the mercenary camp that they claimed earlier to utilize here. And it's a 2 versus 2. Misha and Rexa going up against Orga and against the Haka. The Khaldor pulled not successful here. They were trying to get that kill. Didn't work out. Big arrow coming towards the middle and is actually soaked up by Jojo. Don't really think that was meant for Johanna. That was definitely meant to fly towards the top lane and do some damage there. Talking about damage. The Haka, yeah, he gets out, and ooh, Misha is dead. unbearable situation here at the top lane. Misha gets killed. She was trying to get out, but barely didn't make it. Now we have Dehaka also killed. So, yeah, Rexa was looking at this, was saying like, hey, hold my bear. And then comes in, gets the kill on Dehaka with the rest of the team, and at least gets some sweet vengeance for Misha. So, that's the one thing that you have to do here. Now, top side, still a bit more of a push with the cam, but there's no real force behind it as the blue team is refraining from going too deep. We have a bit of an experience advantage right now for the Gremlins. Really a whole lot. Damage output for now is at 16,000 for Hanzo. We get 24,000 for Junkrat. And, well, besides that, you have Hoggar coming in with 16k too. Structurally, the blue team has definitely taken a lot more damage on their own side, but they haven't lost any forts yet. But most of them are already dropped below 50% HP. Crankle. It's attacked now as well. Okay. And obviously, Hoggar just playing ping pong down there. Dong, 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 dong. And gets another camp for them. This is one of the beautiful things when you're having Hoggar on a map with a lot of mercenary camps, that he's just getting so much value for the team. But, yeah, they claim them quickly. Forces the reaction from Team Rip. Allows Dehaka, for example, to push to the top lane a bit more aggressively. Rexa has not started to move topside again. It's just now on the move slowly. But this could still be... Nah, they're not going to get that fort. But they can definitely get the control over the Dragon and Knight temple at the top again. Crankle. You hold on to the bot lane for now. And with Misha and Rexa forcing this back and defending against the camp, this means that Dehaka might even lose control over this. But they're pushing at the bottom of the map. They're really not only getting their own shrine there, they have double control again. Junkrat is the one guarding the middle, guarding the dragon statue. But now Rip is in the pickle. They need to guard the middle, but at the same time they also want to maintain control over the bot lane, and they're about to lose their fort here, which is always bad news. Crankle is a little bit low. The fort is about to go down, and that's the first one destroyed in this game. Dehaka, well, he also came in. Tries to control them with a couple of body blocks. Crankle, and it's a kill. They are taking Jojo out, so all of a sudden it's a fort eliminated, and Johanna dropped 2. Top side, Misha and Rexa are trying to take care, or trying to take advantage of the situation by going straight in for that fort. But Hoggar is nearly there. And, well, hits keep coming. In the middle of the map, for example, they poke them down even further. Experience gap, mainly facilitated by hero and mercenary experience. That's where the big differences are right now. But passive XP, of course, will play a role as this continues further and further. Always assuming that they can take some additional structures out. It's only the top lane fort that has taken damage on the red team side. But, yeah, Junkrat is trying. They're again losing control. This might be another Dragon Knight. This should be another Dragon Knight. This will be another Dragon Knight. Sylvanas is a bit too late to go for another interrupt. Hoggar gets killed. So, yeah, they bought the objective with the death of Hoggar, but now they can go for some easy forts here and make up for that one loss with additional passive XP that they're gonna gain. Yeah. Already, Dragon's Breath, Dragon's Breath, Dragon's Breath. That was what everything is centered around here. Just trying to play the abilities, and the fort in the mid lane is, as a result, gone. Triple arrows done. They go for Sven, and this could be a kill! Dehaka's trying to get away. Same is true for Jojo, who's again a bit low. Gets the Ancestral, and they turn on Dehaka and kill him. So that was actually much better than expected, considering that multiple of the blue team's heroes were about to die. But they're able to save them. Dragon Knight moved towards the top, tried to be helpful, was a bit too slow, and arrived when everything was essentially over. So now it's the blue team that is on the move, trying to push here, despite the fact that the Dragon Knight is just in their midst. But won't be able to do enough damage here just yet. So, it's all about control at the top. 2 forts are gone for the blue team now. And I mean, there's catapults already pressuring in on these lanes. So, already 1 on the tower. They gotta deal with it. We're only 11, 12 minutes into the game, but this is still going to hurt you, if not stop. Both of the teams on level 16, the worst actor in the universe, is now going to try and feign his death again. This is, by the way, a talent that apparently World of Warcraft players are very passionate about. They keep telling you how important it is, and the long and rich history that I just couldn't care less about. But if anybody falls for Raxa's crap when he's trying to feign his death, I mean, that is just horrendous. How gullible do you have to be in order to believe that? I mean, him feigning his death is literally just like lying on the floor and being like, oh, I'm dead. The only thing that is missing is like a rose on his chest or something along those lines. So if any boss or any mob or whatever in World of Warcraft falls of that, then they deserve to be taken out, because that's just embarrassing. I mean, give me a break. Look, the most obvious scam in the universe. 17 versus 17. With level 16 talents, another tool that we're of course getting is also the completed Earthgrass totem build here. Oh, hello, Hogger! Somebody, oh my god, he got crushed. Arrow connected from Hanzo. Double camp at the bottom of the map. It's honestly a little bit weird to see that the red team, every single time that they are teeing up a proper push somewhere on the map, that what we're seeing is them losing a hero, and then the blue team has a lot of wiggle room to move around and, you know, stop that from happening. Imagine that last fight lasting longer and them not getting blown out of the water immediately. That bot lane push would have been a real threat. But now what we're getting instead is a desperate attempt by the Gremlins to get some value at the top lane, which I suppose they've done to a certain extent, given that they've damaged the fort a little bit, but it's not like they were able to take it down or anything. Misha is taken apart. Bottom of the map, we have Sylvanas making a move for the next shrine control. It's 5 kills to 3 so far. I mean, it's game number 3, so whoever takes the victory in this game is at least able to pull a bit ahead in the series. And Sylvanas is again pressuring at the bottom. Very different games than what we've seen at the start, so it really felt like Team Rip needed a game to warm up a bit, because game number 1 was just absolutely clean-cut victory for the Gremlins. Now, very different story. Horde pulled from Hogger, jumps in deep, Rexa feigning his death, nobody falling for it. There's the Ancestral, so he needs another ult too. And he's still about to die, isn't he? Of course he's gone. That's how you really play that, man, my friend. So that's 1 kill, and they... yeah, they're not going to get another one. Topside fort, by the way, is gone as well. So that passive experience increase is helping. But it's not like the blue team is too far behind. They haven't taken a fort out yet. This is, by the way, the 3rd Dragon Knight now. Dragon Knight number 3. And they're going to have level 20 as they're pushing through the bottom of the map together with it. So this is where things will get a bit interesting. Nice attack here too. Get some extra XP for them. Gives us the Scarlet Crusade. And we now have the chance to open up the wall further and maybe even get that keep. Blue team is very, very close to their own Storm talent. So they're going to get that soon. But, yep, there's the attack. Starts to kick in. Let's go. Quick punt against Jojo. They're starting to make their play right there. Pushing for keep number 1 of the game. Easy peasy. 15 minutes in. The Dragon Knight is delivering. And now the question, how much further do they go? Do they go core? Do they just try and attack to keep in the middle a little bit? Or what's the game plan right now? So far, it doesn't really seem that they're going all the way. Could have maybe tried... how much time do they... oh, they have actually 25 more seconds. They can move through the middle and hope to open the wall up a bit. Yeah. Just get the Dragon's Breath connected a few times now that both teams have level 20. But that's exactly what we're going to get for them here. Open it up slightly, not too much. Just play around the cooldown a little bit and then eventually just fall back here and burrow back out. So 20 versus 20 right now. 66,000 damage for Hanzo. We got 54,000 for Junkrat. And, well, on 20, we can get a Riptire advancement with extra oomph. We got the Farseer's Blessing too. And more mercenary camps from Hogger. Actually, we can take a look at the mercenary camp experience, just to get a bit of an idea also of who has been claiming more. And there is a massive, massive gap in mercenary XP between the two teams. I mean, basically, the red team is doubling what we're seeing from their opponents. Fort destroyed up at the top lane. Still a big push at the bottom of the map. That's 3 camps pushing here. And I'm curious how they're going to now play this one out. Are they just pushing with this and trying to make this a bit of a death push, or is it more of a distraction that helps them to push the middle instead? And it seems like the latter is the case. So, yeah, there we go. They're starting to try and take that out. Sylvanas is dealing with this a little bit too easily, if you ask me. And the red team decided they're just going to let that slide. That is a waste and a half. I mean, come on. You set all of these camps up at the bottom of the map, and then you're not being able to do anything with them. Look how long it takes them to just stop this from doing something. Would have been amazing to see a proper push, you know, like full Leroy! Get the aura, catapults, Inspire kicks in, 4 siege giants just hammering away and then making the play for the core. And going down in a flame of glory. But none of that happening, they just fell back, didn't even push the middle, and are waiting for the next objective from the looks of it. Bit of a shame, but it is what it is. So now a few more attacks happening at the bottom as Junkrat is sending out the grenade barrage. Tehaka, as a global, huge impact in the game now, of course. So he's already taken control. Has to tunnel down and does. Will make an appearance right here. Gets the lick on Misha. Not quite what he was aiming for, I suppose. And Muradin is already jumping out as Tehaka realizes that he might have to actually retreat here. The Riptire is out, alright. Tehaka on the move. And still alive and kicking. Hogger, on the other hand, is fogging out hard. Has to order pulled back towards the rest of the team. Junkrat is coming in. Another little barrage. The blue team is looking a bit better here. Muradin is trying to turn the fight, but the problem is, of course, that there are still fountains around, and the red team can tap them now easily to top off their HP and mana. And the blue team is kind of pinned down here at the bottom of the map now. So they have to fight for control of that shrine because the Haka has taken topside. So if they lose control here, there's another Dragonite potentially in the cards for the red team, which would be their 4th if I'm not mistaken. Top and mid lane are both pushing. Misha gets attacked again. Is about to fall. Nice connect from Hanzo with that extra stun. Taking control here once more. We will likely claim this one. Good damage also against Jojo, but it's Hogger that gets blown up, and Whitemane is dead in the back. Whitemane down. Muradin is about to get murdered. Nano is already gone. That's 3 heroes down, and all of a sudden we're talking momentum here. Avatar is in. Muradin is just trying to run towards the left side of the map so that he wastes as much of their time as they possibly can. The Haka was thinking about trying to recapture the bot lane, but Sylvanas was already close by. Obviously one of the few plays that is still left to the Haka as the only survivor on the map. So now we get a 20-minute Dragonite for the blue team. This is where it gets interesting. Huge lead the entire game for the red team. The Gremlins looking solid. But now Team Rip is attempting to utilize those big death timers that we're seeing. Junkrat is just moving in the middle of the map, lets the 4-man push the bot lane, and is instead hoping to at least pressure the fort in the middle. But this could be the first keep for the red team here. They're doing massive damage. Sylvanas is already pushing this out. The Dragonite is still at 90% of its hit points. I mean, just check this one out. They could go for the core at this point. They're looking great here. If not core, then at least try and attack the middle, take that fort out too. So they are completely back in this. This is looking fantastic right now for the blue team. Better and better. They essentially equalize the situation that we find ourselves in on the map. A little bit of a pun from the Dragonite right now. Riptire, in the looks of a target, can pull the minion wave apart here, but it's just zoning them. They already eliminated the fort. Another quick kick on Muradin as he's retreating. Yeah, and they get the Dragon's Breath now through too. So this game is getting highly interesting. This is the first objective actually that the blue team gets. Previously it was only their opponents who were able to get themselves some Dragonites, and they got a lot of structural damage with it. But it didn't really amount to anything, because what we see instead is the blue team draw even. So now we are, I mean, look at the minimap. We're dead even in structures. And so far, the blue team has done a bit better in these team fights. And obviously, every single kill this late in the game matters a hell a lot. Because it means that you have a numbers advantage for a pretty significant amount of time. So, yeah. Down at the bottom of the map, that's where we're getting the next camp claimed by the red team. This is honestly giving them an opportunity to potentially push for the core again, or at least like have... I mean, look at this. They already have 2 camps and they have catapults pushing. The Haga is the one that has to deal with the top lane right now and plays it extremely safe since they don't have vision. He doesn't know if they're sitting somewhere here attempting to push in against him. Not the case, but again, we know that he doesn't. Muradin already sitting in the middle here. Everybody's waiting for the next objective, essentially. Or for the next team fight. If you are able to force a good one. Haga pogging away again. Stormbolt, careful. The Haga defending. 23 minutes on the clock. Yeah. It's a close one. The series is as... right now, this is as close as I expected the series to be. 92,000 damage from Hanzo. 90,000 from Junkrat. And it is currently the blue team that is taking a bit more of the map. The Haka really is just unleashing his full value with globals the entire time here. It's not only about the shrines that are activating, but it's also about him pushing the lanes out a little bit, making sure that they're controlling those as best as they can. Now, again, shrine at the top. Red team can try and move down to the bottom of the map if they want to aim for another Dragonite here. The Haka is still pushing the lane out as we speak and could do this obviously quite a bit longer, as long as they have vision from of the blue team at the bottom of the map. And the Haga is playing it very, very safe. He doesn't want to get ganked up on. They know that if they lose the side laner, then essentially it's probably... it could even be game. So, right now, big attack over against Dainu again, who has taken control. Yeah, it is a bit rough now. Nobody wants to make a mistake. Everybody is eager to get another objective or another chance to win the game, but nobody wants to be too far out, too aggressive, and then get punished for that. Checking bushes wherever they can, rotating around. Dehaka always cautious since he's the only one that is alone on the map. Everybody else is rotating with the team. But they basically just swapped sides now, which gives the red team more control over the bot lane and therefore also over the mercenary camp that we have here. Yeah, Junkrat finds it, but not that he can really do anything with it. Was hoping to just boop somebody over, couldn't. And now we have double control thanks to the shrine at the top. So now the fight shifts towards the middle. And this is where things get spicy, because now the blue team can't play around them anymore. They gotta face the music here. Could send somebody towards the top, I guess. Hoga with the next mercenary camp that is attempting to claim. As long as they're pinning them down in the mid lane, any auxiliary lane that is pushing through either minions or mercenaries is of course a win for you. So here we go. Channel attempts are happening. The drag on Misha. Arrow missing. Hoga has the siege giants on the map right now, but look at that kill. White main is gone once more. We have the blue team coming in with full force, getting those kills right now, pushing them back, and likely able to prevent the Dragonite from being captured again. 26 minutes into the game now. It's a long one over here. Gavlo's trying to get away too. There's the stun. Is it a kill? And indeed it is. That's 2 heroes down. And they're looking for more. 2 heroes eliminated. Junkrat pushing the bot lane out. If they get a Dragonite at this point, this should be game. That core is likely going to fall. Rexar is on his way towards the top lane. Junkrat is going towards the bottom. And they will get the Dragonite here. Or will they? Because the Haka is now contesting the bottom of the map. Channel hasn't happened yet. They could in a second. They just need to buy a little bit more time. And, well, nobody moved in time onto the point. That's on them, honestly. That was definitely doable. But they're pushing them back. They're trying to go for Muradin. Arrow connects. They dodge them. Rexar is now going down to the bottom. He still wants that shrine. They want that thing. And they're going to get it. It's going to be a Dragonite for the blue team from the looks of it. Hawkeye is not going to be back for another 10 seconds. Rexa is taking control. Somebody needs to go towards the middle. I actually expected them to do that a bit earlier. And instead of going for it, Rexa starts to join the team fight. The Haka is back, so is, of course, Hogger. And it's Muradin that falls, and they're going straight in for the second kill. They want the Haka, and it seems like they're going to get him here. The stun is ready. Seta doesn't stand a chance here, but the problem is Jojo didn't either. So now Johanna's eliminated, and Cesapor says, guys, I'm done. Take the Dragonite, dude. I mean, at some point, just take that W. Massive ulto from Sylvanas. Oh my god. She comes in and gets the ult, and they drop Hanzo immediately. If anything, I'm a little bit shocked that they didn't drop more of the heroes. We're now 27, 28 minutes into this, and finally we got the Dragonite channel from Rexa. So Dragonite is taken, and they're going to go down to the bottom of the map in order to end game number 3 and take the lead in this series. The Gremlins in some trouble here. Keep in the middle has already been destroyed. Whiteman is now gone too. Another punt back to safety. Gavlo is going to be happy with this, but that Dragonite hits like a truck. Picks the truck up and just obliterates the core with the truck. That's the cudgel, if anything. So that's game. That is Team Rip with the lead in the best of 5 series now against the Gremlins. Nicely done. GG and well played. Game number 4, match point number 1. Team Rip has now taken the lead. It's a little bit of a chaotic game 3, but towards the end, thanks to the team fight prowess that they had, the blue team was able to win it. But it took some time. I mean, Gremlins were just way better on structures initially, but once that level 20 hit, they didn't play that big of a role anymore. So now we're heading into Towers of Doom, and well, it gets more interesting. We have Sylvanas banned out, for example, so the Gremlins are currently starting to adjust their ban patterns a little bit, or at least they're trying to. Chromie gets banned. Very good, obviously, also for interrupting whenever there's an altar channel that, for example, happens, and you have Nano on the other side, so Chromie gets eliminated. They still maintain that Lucio ban, though, after, I believe it was the Sky Temple game. They just said, okay, we have enough from Basilisco on that hero, so how about no? And with a first pick on the side of the red team, I guess we're going to target Nano again with the next ban too. Are they going to ban Junkrat, Hanzo? Or, nope, they go for Maiev again. So, I guess they figure whatever gets picked here by the Gremlins, likely going to be Blaze again, honestly, considering how they played it previously, or the side laner. But whatever gets picked as a damage dealer from the two that I just mentioned, they can pick the other one if they want to. So, yeah. Or ban again another hero then. I would like to see a couple of shenanigans right now from the blue team. I think that's it's definitely time. So there's the Junkrat pick. They actually go for him first pick. We're going to go very quickly to a point where Junkrat is going to be a regular ban in the meta here. I mean, his priority keeps rising fairly steadily. And yeah. With Junkrat already claimed, do we get that Blaze pick for the top? Or what are we going to get from Team Rip? Blaze again, just still massively impactful, so if you can, usually pick him. Tyrael for Andrega. Okay, so this is actually kind of interesting, because Tyrael was of course a hero that the entire time was regularly banned out against Krankle, the same for ETC. Now both of them are available, and Krankle decides that they're going to go for an early Tyrael pick here. So, we'll see what he's able to do with it. The hero got banned plenty of times against him, and now he can prove that those bans were absolutely justified. So, Garrosh, and we get Anduin. Now you of course have to ask yourself, what do you ban here? Genji? In case they play Anduin plus Genji Light Bomb engage. So could do the same thing with Tracer, obviously. So both of them are quite annoying. You could also target the side lane instead and ban one of the side laners out, as for example someone like Blaze. A couple of others come to mind too. So, we'll see. Zeratul. Okay, so they're getting rid of Zeratul now. Curious what the squishies are going to be. This could be a Falstad pick, for example, on the side of Team Rip. Zeratul loves to go up against Falstad. Nothing better than that. Go for the chicken, baby. Those chicken McNuggets. Give me those wings. So, final ban for the map. And the ban Tracer. Okay. Yeah, with Tyrael around, I mean, you don't have the whole trifecta of Tyrael, Shield, Malfurion, Overheal, and then Tracer kicking in. But still, the Shield on Tyrael alone is already quite strong. Now keep in mind, the one hero that we actually haven't seen yet, which Team Rip had a lot of success with in previous matches, is Medivh. Not sure if the draft... I mean, with Garrosh, honestly, you could still go for that. But yeah, Medivh is something that I expect to see at some point. Finally, we get our Samuro pick. And Abathur. There it is. Right there.
Hail to the king, baby.
Okay, this game is gonna slap. Abathur is in, and we get the full-on cancer comp of the days of old. Abathur, Samuro. This is what takes structures down right there. And I can't wait to see how they're going to pull this one off. This can backfire. I guess we'll see. Oh, and the Vikings! Vikings Cassia. Guys, it's getting spicy. This Towers of Doom game is gonna be wild. Samuro Abathur against the Vikings, and now Boss with the final pick. Okay, we're in for a treat here. This is gonna get awesome. This is a fantastic fourth game. I can't wait to see how this one shapes out to run. Like, this is gonna be great. Final pick, Boss. As we're heading into match point number 1, it's Vala. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a banger. Towers of Doom, Gremlins against Team Rip. It's gonna be a wild one. Map number 4, Towers of Doom, and over on the left in blue, Basilisco on Rega. Krankle playing Tyrael. We got Dino on Vala, Sven on Samuro, which in and of itself is already great. But then we get Boss on Abathur. The Slug, ladies and gentlemen. Logical decision as we're heading into the game. And the counter attempt on the side of the Gremlins with Simply on Garrosh, Nano on Junkrat, but more importantly, Sadath on the Vikings. Gavlo is playing Cassia, and we got Banana H on Anduin. That's going to be a wild one. Arrow build for Vala, by the way. No auto attacks. Arrow build for Vala. Lots of opportunities, obviously, during the altar phases to get arrow stacks together. And we'll see how diligent Dino is. Chris Heroes would be proud to see it. So they go again for the camp here. Another hit comes in, and Dino is working it. Level 7 is going to be interesting for him. I mean, there are a couple of arguments where you could say, hey, Monster Hunter is still going to give you some value, but obviously there's plenty of alternatives where you can play that out. Dino can play a bit more aggressively, considering that he doesn't have a Gambit talent on level 1. But yeah, we'll see. They are giving up their own Pumpkin Camp for the time being from the looks of it, so they didn't make a move on it. Instead, they just let the Gremlins take their own. They don't have a 5th body on the map until Abathur is on level 10. And Abathur is already starting things up as you would probably expect with pressurized clans. So Samuro is going to be pretty aggressive. The Vikings obviously are going to be a problem. And this might actually be an insanely tough one. If you can somehow sustain yourself against that Vikings play until later on, then I think the chances for the blue team to become annoying are great. But Vikings will have a lot of push power at the top lane in particular. So Abathur, he can make a big difference, but it's going to be tough. Abathur against Vikings is always a super weird pairing. And initially, at least, the red team is going to rule the map, for sure. There's pressure coming from Samuro, though, so he's already starting to take a couple of the towers out. And with the additional support from Abathur, this is just going to continue. Vala with 7 stacks already. Dino, on the other hand, dies right there. And that is first blood in the game. It's important for Dino to engage in these battles and get those stacks in, but you also want to, of course, limit your deaths as best as you can. And for the Gremlins, it's going to be just an all-out war right from the go. They want to make sure that they're pulling ahead quickly so that the blue team is not going to be able to recover anytime soon. But Sven is getting lots of damage in. Now at the top lane, obviously, the Vikings are also pushing, and there's always the symbiote that we're getting from Abathur. Vala is working some additional stacks in. While we're talking about this, we have now the double arrow, triple altar phase is up, and there's a good chance that Team Rip is not even getting a single one of those. Ooh, that was a nice grab. But they're coming in with Tyrael. Good hits from Vala. Yeah, they're trying to save not only Banana Age, but also Simply. Banana Age is already gone. Anduin is eliminated. Nice. And that was pretty sweet. The Slug got attacked. Abathar actually got nearly attacked by Eric, who was sneaking in at the side here. Abathar repositioning now, and the blue team is trying to get at least one of the altars at the bottom of the map. Vala obviously has lots of opportunities here to get herself a few additional hits in with those arrows. And I gotta say, Dino is really getting the numbers up. We are only 3 minutes into the game and he's currently sitting on 14 stacks. Topside interrupt, that's definitely going to happen. Eric mega annoying here. Abathar even moving out a bit, and they're still fighting for control of even one altar down at the bottom of the map. That's the main idea here. And Vala, 15 stacks, 16 stacks. I mean, if we're going to the late game, Vala is going to be an absolute monster here. The longer this lasts, the better for them as well, because they're getting closer to level 10, where Abathar is going to play a bigger role. So, they zone out with Banana Age, everything. There's the interrupt. Crankle, is he actually going to die for this? Yeah, he might. He dies for it, okay. So, he goes down. Abathar still with the symbiote, pushing them back at the top. Slightly in experience now for the Gremlins, and Eric is going to attempt to channel. But the shots are fired. For the red team, they would love to take the control over the top. They might actually even let that slide, because Team Rip is happy to just slow down the game. They don't want additional altars to spawn too soon, because they want level 10. They have also Mule now up down at the bottom of the map. But it might... I actually think even if they have a chance, they're not even going to channel them. 18 stacks now for Vala, and went as expected, not into Monster Hunter on level 7, but instead we're getting Frost Shot. Tyrael dies again. This is getting a little bit too much. 3 deaths already, and that bell tower is soon going to be taken. So even with Mule in, this is a bit of a problem. Vala on 20 stacks. I mean, the numbers here for Dino are just fantastic. But they're losing ground, and that's the problem. Dino is currently at 18,000 damage. That's an easy top damage in the game already, and we're not even talking about any specific synergy plays that he's made or anything of the sorts. But the bell tower at the bot lane is now lost, and that's the problem. As you don't have level 10 and your opponent keeps pushing with this, more ground will be lost. So instead, they're now apparently moving towards the top. We have seen all 3 altars channeled by the Gremlins, by the way. Eric is gone. But they need to do a little bit more. Pumpkins are now moving in. That's the again, it's just a problem of the composition. It's a compositional problem that they're currently facing, and they know it. It's all about limiting the damage. Limit it as best as you can until you can finally take proper fights. Which is going to happen soon in half a level. They have taken the pumpkins here too. But it's still not going to be easy. It is a comeback map. This is a map where late game rules. Momentum rules everything. But it's a question of how much the Gremlins can do to pull ahead and really put Team Rip into an unwinnable position. And right now, there's some nice damage done at the bottom of the map, but the red team is already starting to sneak in order to defend this. And since there's no level 10 yet, that's just the thing. So, a few more hits coming together from Vala. Sitting at 22,000 damage right now with 28 stacks, and he has finally the level 10 abilities. Judgment... Samuro being more annoying with Illusion Master. And we have, of course, also the copy now for Abathar with the Ultimate Evolution. So now we're talking. Vikings are getting the channel at the bottom of the map, though, so this one is being given up, and that's 5 shots fired, meaning the blue team is now dropping down to 20 points on the core. It's all still about stacking for the late game and getting into a good spot, but at least they can now fight back in a proper fight. They're trailing by roughly a level, so they're behind, but this is still doable. Question is, can they? Now, next fight, quick engage, and Samuro in trouble, but there's the heal, Judgment, and Anduina is dead. Gone, and that is another kill for Team Rip. So they get the kill here fairly easily. Not a problem, and now the attempt to retake at the bot lane, especially since pumpkins have just now been claimed by the Gremlins and they're trying to push them through. Tyrael also with a quick hit, able to get the kill on Eric. Yeah, they're pushing in with a couple of minions down at the bottom of the map. And once again, Vala just working on those arrows. Connects 1, connects 2. They're trying to also go for that bell tower, of course. Simply trying to get away. Got the shield for just a second there. Riptire, really nice connect on the Riptire, but they're still retaking their bell tower. So this is really the moment when we can now see a bit of action from the blue team. And they are using it. I mean, they're reclaiming control. They are now back on 4-4 bell towers. They, of course, have a long way to go. So far, not a single shot has been fired against the red team's core. So technically, a 40-0 is still possible. Vala with 33 stacks now. They wait for level 13. They don't have the same talents just yet. And it's a double altar at the top that is popping up next. More arrows connected. 1 connects, 2 connects. 35. It's honestly a pleasure to see, like, in a game like this, that much diligence around the stacks. But is it going to be enough? This is the entire question here. Is it enough in the long run, yes or no? With level 13, they now got Gloom for Vala. We got Tyrael with Sword of Justice. Another altar channeled. Vala gone. Vala is dead. And we have now 16 points on the core of Team Rip. Yep, they're running out of time a little bit here. I mean, it was clear that at least one of the altars is going to be channeled by the Gremlins. It's all what's happening down up at the top left now. Down at the bottom of the map, though, it seems like the blue team is going to lose more of their heroes. Rhaegar tried to rush away, can't. Now Eric has been killed, but Tyrael follows, and I know who I would like to die if anyone has to fall. So that's Sven at least preventing the 40-0 from happening. But it feels that the Avatar pick is just not able to deal with the Vikings early on, and they fell too far behind already. 2 kills to 7. Vala's back and is YOLOing a couple of arrows out to take the camp at the top lane quickly. But I'm not quite sure if they're going to get to that late game. Level 16 talent alone, for example, would already be a big deal. But they're not there. There's a lot of late game potential as well, especially when we're looking at Samuro, who with an Abathar copy, not only a copy but also the symbiote, can just take structures down with absolute ease on the side lane. But we're not getting a whole lot of that just now. It is the red team that is dominating the game for sure, and the blue team is just playing a very reactionary style, trying to not lose even more ground. Level 16 talents are now getting picked, and starting to move away as the top side bell tower is actually taking much more damage than I expected. But we'll see. Vala's at 33,000 damage. Cassia is by now closing in. 30,000 for her. Oh, they nearly take Nano down here. They take Nano down. Damn. Popped by the judgment like a pimple. Junkrat is gone, and they're still chasing. There's the light bomb as Anduin is trying to do what he does best, running away. But yep, Vala slowly retreating. They want to retake that bell tower. And she's by now on 38,000 damage. Still battling with Cassia for top damage in the game. And talking about Cassia, Gavlo is immediately back here. They're trying to maintain that tower control for as long as they can. But Anduin, Banana H, is low, gets thrown back by Garrosh and falls straight into the hands of Vala, who says, thank you very much, I'll take that with a gift wrap, comes in and takes him on. Level 16 talents on already. Samuro is dead and Rhaegar is down too. The Gremlins hate orcs. They absolutely hate them. Krankle is trying to get away. Dino is on the run and gets murdered in the process. Has gone for seething hatred now, but the problem maintained. Yeah, bad news. Another channel, another 5 shots. They're down to 11 points now. They gotta get their act together. They gotta do it quickly. Next altar phase should be a triple, and then it's game over. They're already going for the boss, that means single digits. So now you have to really step it up big time, or it's just an absolute stomp. The Vikings, way too powerful here. I mean, you can see that the minion experience is different already, how much they've been controlling all of this. Boss taken at the top, they're retaking the bell tower at the bottom of the map, of course. That helps for the next objective a little bit, but the 4 shots get fired regardless. And it doesn't really make too much of a difference whether they control 5 or 4 bell towers. It matters a little bit, of course, but 2 altars channeled by the Gremlins are going to end the game either way. That's just the reality of what we're looking at right now. And the problem is still that we have the Vikings eager to do their thing. Pumpkin's about to be claimed. Yeah, they can maybe force another fight here. There's no level 20 available yet. Get a few more hits together. 44 for Vala, Seething Hatred. Once that you have your Hatred stacks up is of course gonna help. Cranker, not the time to die, my friend. Can't die right now, and Tyrael is doing exactly that. Tyrael is gone, the camp is taken, and damn, that's 25 seconds until the altars spawn, and Tyrael is down for 40. Yeah. Good luck. They try to get a kill, it's the only thing that they can do, but there's the light bomb engage, they're coming in, Sven is down, Vala is down, that is game. That's game. We're going the distance, everybody. We're going to game number 5. The Vikings just a little bit too powerful. There's the double channel right there. The shots are fired, and we are continuing to the final map of the best of 5 series here in the winner bracket final. Nice. GG and well played. Final map, we're going the distance. The draft did just not work out for Team Rip. They went Abathur, and then instantly we saw Vikings locked in from the Gremlins, and it was just too much for them to handle. They fell behind. Obviously, they were waiting for a long time to try and get themselves to a point where Abathur can participate in the fights with the copy, but they never really got to that moment where their scaling into the late game was enough. Vala stacked nicely on level 1 with the arrow build and got good damage out. They got a couple of kills, but they just weren't able to take these team fights when they really needed to, and lost too many heroes in the process too. Very well done by the Gremlins though. I mean, they really brought it back here. So they came in on Towers of Doom and were able to just slap them around. No chance for the blue team, and that's why we end up on the final map of this winner bracket final. Who goes to the grand final? Who drops down into the losers bracket? We're gonna find out right now. They essentially reduced it to a best of 1. And we get an insta pick on Junkrat once again for the Gremlins. Ban on Lucio, ban on Sylvanas, no changes there. We have Blaze banned and Chromie, so they're at least targeting Nano a little bit with those bans, given the Chromie ban. But of course, Team Rip has now to come up with something. Hogger and ETC. Crankle hasn't been playing his ETC for quite some time. Initially, he was banned. At some point, the Gremlins decided to not ban ETC out anymore and instead switched over into Lucio and into Sylvanas. For a time, we had Tyrael also banned, but now Crankle again trying to go for the ETC performance on the final map, so really believing in the impact. Whereas we're getting Rhaegar and Johanna for the Gremlins. So, Rhaegar and Jojo gives you, first of all, more control with the Lightning Shield over the Shrines, obviously. Johanna also with a huge presence there, really difficult to take down as well. And then on top of that, you have the Blessed Shield where you can start getting some easy kills, you know, at least tee them up for the rest of the team. So they're going to try and do that. Yeah, with the final few bans, could get rid of the side laner and do. Dehaka has been played a lot by the Gremlins, and they just don't want to deal with him right now. Not only to be chased by the opponent, but also the continuous side lane pressure, dealing with the mercenaries here, maybe escorting your own minion wave in, but also just that AoE that comes into play again on the shrine itself. So Dehaka is this time out. They banned 2 of the side laners. They already have Hogger. They could go for the triple front line as well and add another one into the bunch. And Tracer gets banned now. Alright. So, if they want to go for another side laner or another melee hero, they should do it right now if it's a triple melee lineup. That will reduce the options of the Gremlins further. We still need also some range damage, of course. Haven't seen a mage picked yet. We could still see Gul'dan, just as one example. Anything that gives you AoE on the fight over the shrines themselves. And, well, we get the Probius strategy again. I mean, to be fair, now that I think about it, they... Wait, did they win with Probius? Wait a second, they played Probius on Sky Temple. Who won Sky Temple? It was the blue... They won with Probius. They actually won. So they go for the Probius strategy again. Really believing in it. I mean, it's the most important map for them right now. It's map number 5 in the winner bracket final, and they go for Probius. And the Gremlins, how do they react now? Gremlins come in, they pick Sergeant Hammer and Chen. Oh boy. we're getting that hammer build again. They played this previously. Keep in mind that in some of those games, Team Rip actually banned Sergeant Hammer for that reason. And the map where the red team won with Hammer in the previous best of 5 series, in the winner bracket semi-final, it was Infernal Shrines. So they got exactly what they wanted. Exactly. Can Team Rip still take it? We're gonna find out now. Final pick is Hanzo. We're going into game number 5, the final map of the winner bracket final here at the playoffs of the Eternal Conflict. The final map, it is Infernal Shrines. Vasilisco and Brightwing for Team Rip. We have Dino on Hanzo, Krankle on ETC, Sven on Hogger, and Cesarbos is playing Probius. Second time in the series now that we have him on Probius. They believe in their Probius strategy, but they're going up against the Gremlins, who have gone for a draft that was very successful for them in the previous best of 5. Simply is playing Johanna. We got Banana H on Rhaegar. Sadath with Chen, coming in with the freshest ingredients again. Gavlo on Junkrat, and then we got Nano on Sergeant Hammer. So, it's time to party. This is the final one. This is what matters. Win or lose. If you win it, you go straight to the grand final. If you lose here, you have to go through that lower bracket run once more. So, off we go here. With Chen creating space, Sergeant Hammer getting the shots in, then also the blinds from Jojo, having a lot of slows there too. They were really able to protect Sergeant Hammer previously, so now they're going to try that again. Probius is already moving towards the top lane currently. Down at the bottom of the map, we're having Sven dealing with the next mercenary camp, so they're aiming to grab this one first in the middle. EDC with a Guitar Hero, and Hanzo has gone into target practice as the red team is taking a camp for themselves as well. So, right now, Chen just sitting at the top lane, doing his thing. Probius is rotating between the lanes a little bit. And at least Nano is already getting pressured. Keep in mind that the last time that Sergeant Hammer was played by the Gremlins, they essentially from the beginning were able to set up siege at the opponent's base and do work there. And instead, they're now facing some real opposition. Sven is low and Brightwing had to help out, so they're all fighting, but it at least forces Sergeant Hammer to stay a bit more passive and doesn't allow the Gremlins to park Sergeant Hammer here like they did previously and just take the entire wall out. So that's actually pretty important in context, because this is one of the things that really helped the Gremlins in the previous game to make the play. And apparently everybody is a bit split on who is going to take this, because right now when you're looking at the predictions on the live chat, it is dead even. So yeah, the two of them is essentially a 50-50 between who's going to win here. A lot of teams seemed, or a lot of viewers seem to believe that the combo around Probius is going to be successful at the end of the day, as it was previously. And others still remember, of course, the impact of Sergeant Hammer in the previous best of 5 and think that they can repeat that performance. It's not going to be easy. For both of the teams, they have been playing for a long... This has been an insanely long day. I mean, in total, 3 best of 5s today, and we went the distance on 2 of them and went to the 4th map on the other. So out of a possible 15 maps, we have seen 14, which is of course kind of bonkers. And a lot of these guys were here right from the beginning. So, yep, they're tired too. Jojo, hello? Alright, so Jojo is down. First blood for Team Rip as Hanzo was able to get the kill. Probius now down at the bottom of the map, facing off against Sergeant Hammer and against Banana H2, so that means Cesarbos has to be very careful. The objective is now up and they're starting to take the first few shrine minions. Johanna is obviously back in time for this, but there is still an initial lead for Team Rip. So they're taking quite a lot of the initial stacks here, and they might be able to get more. Seems like the red team is more eager to push through the wall at the bottom of the map, and Probius is doing the best that Cesarbos can to try and push this back, but they're going to lose some ground. So the idea at this point for the Gremlins is not to go for the objective, but instead to try and do damage at the side lane, then defend against the objective properly, and basically trade evenly. That's the thought process on this one. Sergeant Hammer with a Hover Siege mode, as so often on level 7 now. We got the Dirty Trickster too. Arcane Punisher already in the middle, and Sergeant Hammer has now, of course, rotated over. You can't bait over the gate anymore, so it's all happening just outside. And the Arcane Sentries are pushing them back already. But this is going to be more damage than the Gremlins were able to pull off at the bottom of the map for sure. So this wall will fall, and some damage on the fort itself is inevitable. Might not be a lot. Oh, they try to go for the kill here on Jojo again. Only one kill so far in the game. So down at the bottom of the map, Probius has still been pushing a bit. Gets that siege damage connected, of course. On level 7, we now have tower defense. And they are trying to steal the opponent's camp away with a quick slide coming in from Crankle. Not willing to commit fully, though, from the looks of it. Probius, for example, has never really moved from the bot lane, as instead just trying to push and will, and does. Gets the Inspire mechanic activated and takes out the gate and also one of the towers. And this fight up here isn't even quite done yet. They have the camp claimed, but Joanna, for example, was in trouble for a moment. So by now we get the freshest ingredients nearly completed. Chen obviously going to play a big role later, as Gavlo saves himself. Yeah, the structural damage is really looking a bit better for Team Rip, so they're doing a pretty okay job with this. There's also some counter pressure happening, especially of course at the top of the map where we have Chen currently playing. But all in all, the blue team just looking slightly better on that account. It's too early in the game to tell. We've only seen a single kill so far, but everybody is playing quite aggressive right now. So we'll see what they're going to get here. Down at the bottom, for example, who claims the camp? Seems like the red team with Sergeant Hammer sieging up is going to take it. And at the same time, we're now having in the middle Junkrat defending, 10 on both sides, which gives us stage dive this time. So this has actually not been happening for a while now. Stage dive on the side of ETC. Yeah. And the Hanzo is... Yeah, he's doing it. He's been waiting, and he actually goes for the Dragon Strike. Okay, Dragon Strike for Hanzo. Once we hit level 20, that's of course massive cooldown reduction that is going to kick in for him, which might be the goal, which very likely is going to be the goal here. But, yep. Nicely done. So, immediately the attack towards Nano. Okay. He's a bit low. Sergeant Hammer, so far not quite with the same impact that they were of course hoping for, but the next objective is now soon going to come up, and then we'll see what they can pull off. Shrine is activating as we speak, and that's where Sergeant Hammer will become more important. So Probius can start setting up a bit early, but is now busy at the camp towards the top left. No fort has been taken out yet. Only a matter of time though. Damage output, nothing too crazy, but currently we're 14,000 for Sergeant Hammer, 21,000 for Hanzo. And Probius is sitting at 87,000 siege damage, which is obviously the main focus, or at least was, thus far for them. So all the way up at the top of the map, Sven Cesar Boss still pushing. And they might even continue this. Down here, ETC with a glorious slide. Nicely done. Hogger is now moving back down to the bottom of the map, as Probius is still dealing with Junkrat and trying to keep the pressure play at the top lane going. So far with success, I might add. So they might get the wall here too if this is being kept up. Yeah, I am not quite sure what that Dragon Strike was supposed to do. That went absolutely nowhere. That Dragon Strike did nothing. So they try to jump on Sergeant Hammer. Junkrat gets soloed by Probius. Okay. Now it's a 5 versus 4. Hortepult. But ETC dies. Just as the blue team established a bit of an advantage. Now ETC is gone. It's a 4 versus 4. But it's 33 to 30 stacks. Who takes it? It's mega close. 37 for the red team. 38. And they take it. The Mortar Punisher. The Gremlins, ladies and gentlemen. Initially Team Rip with the first kill, but now it's indeed the Gremlins that lock in the Punisher and can push with Sergeant Hammer on top of it. Definitely a few of the ults going into empty space in that last encounter. 13 talents are now ready on both sides, but this bottom fort will fall, and it's the first one. Junkrat isn't even there. He's already topside, trying to have an impact, and nobody is contesting that. So if Junkrat, he's just rotating between the lanes. They're going to get extra experience through this. Banana Age has the self-ancestral. Crankle is low though and gets killed. Crankle gone. Another jump from the Punisher. Going full John Cena over here. And with 2 kills to 2, they now lock in the early level 14. Junkrat at the top, for example, is fully utilizing the Inspire buff to take down the wall, and they are getting mad value. Just sieging up at the bottom of the map too, going for the wall here. One of the towers is already gone. The gate gets eliminated, and they can even wait to eliminate tower number 2. So, yep, looking really good for the Gremlins now. Get another hit in, a little bit of damage, and bam, that's the tower also down. 2 kills to 2. On the numbers, we have 27,000 for Sergeant Hammer, 36,000 for Hanzo. And, well, down here, we still try to go for the camp. But couldn't quite. The only hero, by the way, that has died so far on the blue team side is ETC. 2 kills on his part. It's kind of funny, actually, because we don't see too many kills right now, since everybody is just so busy trying to, you know, just not make mistakes. It's a really cautious play by both of them, as much as the time of day allows, because, of course, this is the final map of the day, the final map of the series, and this determines whether you have to go through the loser's bracket or not. Hanzo, yeah. I mean, they're already back up at the top lane. There is a lead also in XP for the Gremlins, which is actually pretty significant right now. Nearly a level that we're talking. Which means level 16, of course. Yeah, again the Dragon Strike, not really a lot of value. They're trying to bait them into a couple of fights where they can utilize Dragon Strike in some of the choke points, or at least flanking it in. But they can't really, and that's an issue. That might be solved later when we have level 20 talents and the cooldown reduction kicks in. Then Dino's obviously going to be able to throw way more of these out. They also forced Hogger down to the bottom of the map. Junkrat has been rotating the entire time, and now they can push at the top lane even further. So, yeah. That fort is not eliminated. So the next objective is, by the way, spawning at the top too. So if they're somehow able to get a kill here, that would be amazing. Crankle tried to jump out, gets interrupted. Could not stage dive out, but still saved. But that was close. That's a 5 versus 4 now, with Hogger sitting in the middle. Rip Tire, and yeah, just a quick hit against Dino. And they are following up with even more hits against the fort now. And the shrine is activating in the top, so if you lose that fort and you lose the fountain, that takes your sustain away. There comes the jump. ETC trying to drive a wedge between them. Zoning ult from Hanzo. And they might get that kill on Jojo, and they do. 3 kills to 2 now. Blue team has taken a bit of a lead all of a sudden on this objective. They lost their fort at the bottom of the map, but they're still trying to bring this back. And they go for the Frozen Punisher now. Junkrat, on the other hand, I mean, what is his siege damage looking like? He's been jumping all over the place the entire game. He's at 140,000 siege damage against Probius 130,000. Gavlo is just everywhere. Mid lane, bot lane, top lane. Eliminating a minion wave here, soaking up some experience there. Trying to push for structures again. Blue team now closing in on the Punisher. Gonna get it in a few moments. They're still behind in experience, but this is the play that could help them to all of a sudden pull ahead. There's no wall at the top lane anymore, so you can go for this right now. 13 minutes into the game now, as Probius and Junkrat are still playing that little tete-a-tete. So, yeah, ETC is already coming in. Attempted defense. Frozen Punisher, first of all, disabling the fort for a moment. Comes in with a second approach. This thing's gone. They can't save this. Even with Sergeant Hammer, they won't be able to save it. It's just not happening. So Chen soaks up most of the damage right now, but they're zoning them fully away. And that is the fort gone. Probius runs into Junkrat, who's trying to take it. And Brightwing is going to try and help out. ETC jumps in. Junkrat is being chased away. And they're going to take the camp. They're also trying to get a kill on Junkrat, but they weren't able to get that. But they will definitely be able to get the camp now. So they got not only the fort at the top, but they are able to take the mercenaries away from the opponent. 18 versus 18, so we're slowly heading towards level 20. Oh, careful, Gavlo! They really want Junkrat, and I don't blame them. He's been super annoying throughout the entire game. So if you're able to get a kill here, that would of course be pretty amazing. Now, more mercenary camps about to be claimed now. With level 16 talents, we also got, amongst other things, by the way, Executioner here for Sergeant Hammer. And we have Imposing Presence for ETC. Now, still a tiny lead in XP for the red team. Junkrat's just bouncing himself up to the top now. And over in the middle, Jojo is defending, but we still have that bot lane pressure. And I said it before, but I say it again. 20 will mean cooldown reduction, a massive amount of cooldown reduction for Hanzo. It's one of the main reasons why this talent is so appealing, because after you hit the late game, you can just throw it out 2-3 times in a big team fight, depending on how you play it. So there's a lot that they can do to just zone them away with that ult alone from the shrine and keep claiming the objective. We're now 15 minutes into the game. ETC protecting the flank as Probius still keeps pushing. Cesabos was successful with Probius already once. And this game is looking way better for him as previously. Hasn't died yet. Played it very safe. Now they're going for the next push in the middle. Taking the minion waves out too. Riptire, but not really a risk. The Riptire only meant to take the minion wave out to safeguard the fort for now. Level 20 any second. This is where the blue team is most likely going to fall back a little bit just to make sure that they're not getting forced into a fight they don't want to battle out. So, yeah, it is Storm Talent time. Camp at the top. Could take it early. Level 20 talents, that gives us the Farseer Blessing. Plus shield gets upgraded. Ultra capacitors for Sergeant Hammer. And we get the Cannonball. Alright, so bit of a moment of truth here. We're going into the final talents, and this should also proc soon the next shrine, and then we'll see who takes it. But now we have it on both sides. The cooldown reduction is kicking in with the Dragon Awakens. That was more or less a given. We have the upgrade with the construct additional pylons right now, and we're getting the Invisible Friends for Brightwing. But having the 3 active pylons is of course going to be pretty big, and then the extra damage that you get through your overcharge that can really make these setups that we're seeing from Probius unbelievably nasty, which is of course the whole game plan here. So pylon after pylon is already set up as the shrine is going to be spawning, and they have everything ready as they're claiming the first few minion stacks. The red team attempting to push into this now, 20 versus 20. This is what it's going to be like from here on out. First ult is out. Decent damage, but just zoning them more so than anything else. And Hanzo is instantly working on the cooldown reduction on his abilities. Sergeant Hammer jumping in. Here comes after the stage dive. Oh, sorry, ETC jumping in on Sergeant Hammer. The Ancestral on Hammer, keeping the auto-attacker alive though. And the blue team is actually falling behind on Shrine Minions. Second ult already from Hanzo, as he keeps working down the cooldown, trying to go for number 3. They are dead even at this point. Dead even on the points on this. Chen, low, needs to be careful. Hanzo with more hits coming. 35, 38 to 35. Who takes it? It is the blue team from the looks of it. They claim the objective, keep everyone alive, and we get also ult number 3 in this battle from Hanzo. So they have the Punisher coming in. Probius is trying to defend the top lane as the fort has been starting to take damage here. And in the middle we saw a similar situation unfold, which forced Team Rip to react here too. But they obliterate the fort in the middle now. So this one's gone. And just like that, we have a lead in structures. Actually, this one isn't gone. They baited the Punisher in deep and have it now right at the wall. But they're trying to go for the fort at the bottom of the map first. And I think the mid lane is still wide open too. So they need to take a few of these out, or this hasn't really done anything for them. The teams are still even in structures, even after that fight. We're 18 minutes in now. And we're essentially just resetting here. But if you look at the damage numbers now, we have 80,000 for Hanzo. And a huge contributor really is that boosted level 10 talent, thanks to the cooldown reduction. Sergeant Hammer on 52,000. And we have Probius on 40,000 on the other side. Yeah. Wild game here. Again, just zoning them, coming in with some extra damage and driving a wedge between them. easy plays for Hanzo. I mean, he already has the cooldown back down to 17 seconds. Oh, but Hogger! Oh, Sven! Horder pulls out of the fight. Ult is back up and ready. And an insta hit from Dainu, making sure that they can't go for Brightwing anymore. Yeah, that cooldown reduction is really making a huge difference. It's just become a normal ability. Just gets thrown out for no reason whatsoever. Just like, oh, we need to zone a little bit, boom, thrown out. So now the fort in the middle destroyed, and that gives a structural advantage to Team Rip. And they, of course, have now an interest to move down to the bottom of the map to try and make that happen once again there. Final map. It's all coming down to this one. 20 minutes into the game already. Yeah, Cam is about to be taken. Well, they gave it up. Alright, so the red team takes it. And now the push at the bottom of the map for the keep. So keeps are starting to take some damage here. Hanzo is a tad late. The minions are already here, but the catapult at least has been kept at bay. So only minimum damage. Minimal damage at the bottom of the map. Again. Yeah, always targeting Sergeant Hammer too. And this thing does damage. So they have to obviously stay wide away from this, but this still does serious damage. Hanzo is now at 102,000 damage compared to the 60,000 that we have from Sergeant Hammer. This is a very, very slow game in regards to kills. But they are just hitting every single hit point here the entire time. Objective after objective. Slow push into structures after slow push. Nobody wants to go down into the loser's bracket. Everybody is just fighting it out the best they can as the next objective gets announced at the top lane. Bad news for the red team, of course. They don't have a fountain over there any longer. The blue team will try and defend this as best as they can, so they have a spot where they can simply tap for mana and for hit points. Camps claimed by both of them. And this is going to be a big one. This is going to be a huge turning point potentially in this game. Very even performance so far. Each team now with a single fort left. Tried isolation play. Brightwing with the heals. Chen had to jump out and the cooldown didn't do enough for them. But ETC has used the Bolt of the Storm to jump out. Dove into the fight and had to retreat quickly. Ult again used by Hanzo. Trying to drive them back. And gets instant cooldown reduction, dropping him to 10 seconds essentially. Connects another hit and can use it once more if he wants to. But it's the red team that has taken control of the shrine. And this is actually starting to become a real problem for Team Rip. Because the red team is now pulling massively ahead on this. So Hanzo with another ult. They're trying to lock them down a little bit. Pushing them away into the corner. Attacking Rega. And he's gone. No Ancestral, no nothing. Got jumped and absolutely murdered. The dog is down. Peter has been informed. Don't worry about it. 4 kills to 2. And this is full control now over the top shrine. And another Punisher for Team Rip. But the reaction is immediate. The red team doesn't waste too much time there. They're still moving to the lanes. They're trying to pressure the side lanes. But this is also something that Team Rip is not just simply letting slide. They move to the top and say like, boys, if you're trying to push out the other lanes, we're going to go to the top lane and we're going to instantly push for that wall and take it out before the Punisher is even there. So be our guest. And they do mad damage there. Junkrat is still not with the red team though. So he's pushing the bot lane, they're pushing the mid lane. That's a lot of pressure there. And that's one of the main reasons why Sven keeps the objective at 39 stacks. Not trying to grab it right now. They want to de-push first. They want to have an opportunity to push at least some of these lanes out. Hanzo is dealing with the middle. Chen is now forcing the Punisher to be claimed up at the top. Down at the bottom, on the other hand, yeah, Probius is still burning a few of these waves out and will then hopefully join the rest of the team in the push at the top side, unless they really think that they need him down at the bottom of the map instead. 4 versus 5 push at the top now. Probius doing the best to just maintain control here, and they can go towards the middle. Already, we have them zoning them out again. Sergeant Hammer is moving in here too. Probius is on the way. Sergeant Hammer a little bit low, and instead of just following up on the top side keep, they're going now down to the bottom of the map to take the fort out. Which is honestly a little bit crazy when you think about it. We're 24 minutes into the game now. They have a Mortar Punisher, and they are not willing to push with it on the keep, and instead just take a single fort out on the map. So you could call it a bit of a win here, because they're structurally pulling ahead again. But it's also them just admitting that pushing into Junkrat and Sergeant Hammer is too much of a nightmare, and they don't want to deal with it. 71,000 damage from Sergeant Hammer, but look at Hanzo. Hanzo with these continuous ult that he just keeps throwing out is sitting at 125,000 damage. 280,000 for Junkrat, by the way, on the siege damage numbers. Junkrat basically the same. Next objective is going to spawn down at the bottom of the map. Catapults are, of course, hitting hard at this point. So that top lane, that is potentially becoming a problem for the Gremlins. They always have to send someone there to deal with it, because once the catapults really latch onto one of the structures, it's going to be a disaster. So, yeah. Already moving towards the camp, trying to steal that away. Sergeant Hammer is the one dealing with the minions. Sadath, though, he sees it. Are they going to fight for it? And the answer is maybe, maybe not. Yeah, they're going for it. They're going for it. Hogger is pogging. They give the camp up. I mean, I have to say, though, that some of the ults that we're getting from Hanzo, I understand that this is basically a completely irrelevant cooldown at this point. But some of the ults that we're getting from Hanzo are just a bit weird. It just feels like there's a massive amount of brain delay or brain lag or something. It's just the ult comes out and it just has no impact. But obviously, as I said before, with the cooldown reduction coming as is, he doesn't have any issues there whatsoever. It's kind of crazy to me that we're now also 26 minutes into the game and we only have 6 kills in total. I talked about catapults for the blue team, but let's not forget that we're having catapults at the bottom of the map also pushing, and that keep is now in trouble. Oh, is it? Oh, the minion wave just spawned in time. But, well, there's one catapult and there's a second one coming, so they need to send somebody down or this keep really has a problem. And I think Probis is already on the way. Because, yep, that catapult gets protected by the minion wave that comes in. Junkrat, they're still trying to claim him here. And there's the attack right against them. As I said, keep is in trouble. This keep is gone. This keep is basically gone. Nice! Fully into the choke point. Great job. Brightwing low, jumps out, survives. And now the team can start to retreat. But as I said before, that keep mega low might... I don't think it's going to survive. No, the keep's gone. This is the first keep that falls in the game. So the blue team now at a significant disadvantage at the bot lane, even more so than before. And now the Shrine is activating. Brightwing had to retreat. Shrine's active. What can Team Rip do? Keep in mind, this is the same lane where the keep just fell. So if the red team takes it, they're going to go for core. They're going to go for the core right away here. I mean, off we go. At this point, 150,000 damage for Hanzo. ETC trying to close the gap once again, as we have Chen creating a little bit of space for them here. Has to be careful because he's dropping low too. Needs that heal potentially. Blessed shield back up in 5 seconds. Here comes the ult from Hanzo, time and time again. Throwing it out, YOLOing it out. The blue team ahead in minion stacks. Pylon overcharge. Bye-bye Jojo. Chen also in trouble. Chen barely able to jump out, but Johanna has been killed. And now the red team is on the run. Another ult and Hammer is gone. Hammer is gone. Rhaegar is about to get wrecked. Chen still retreating. Somebody has to go back towards the core, but the ping has already happened. They're fully aware of what's going on here. Frozen Punisher through the bot lane. Only 2 defenders. Chen trying to go for the core as ETC halved back. He has stage dive. If he needs to jump in to help them out, he can always do that. And as long as he takes care of the catapults, there is no danger of Chen actually ending this game by himself. This is the moment. The blue team, they might have just pulled it off here. They go for the keep at the bottom of the map. The Frozen Punisher about to disable it too. And in comes ETC. He joins the fight. It's the 5 versus 2. The keep is gone. Top keep, by the way, also under pressure, likely going to fall too, but it's the core that they're aiming for, of course. 7 kills to 2, mad damage from Hanzo in particular with 165,000. The core slowly falling. Top keep gone as well, and one Hanzo ult after another. This is it. Team Rip moves on to the grand final, and Gavlo's Gremlins have to go through the losers bracket as the blue team takes Infernal Shrines. GG.